Everybody, happy Wednesday. Yeah, we finally getting on. I know we a couple of minutes late, man. How you doing today, Coop?
What's going on?
Oh man, everything's going on, man. I don't know where to start. Our Twitter blows up when things happen in the
Of
culture and
course.
around the culture, and
Yeah.
yeah, our Twitter was blowing up yesterday. Rolling Stones put out a list, and we're gonna
hmm
talk about that list. You and I were just talking about Benny's new record. Actually, you know what, man? I don't know if YouTube's algorithm is putting out our alerts. Okay, there we go. We got some people coming in, and it ain't Terminator 2. Terminator 2's late. All right,
Caught him slipping.
I caught him slipping. He must have, took a little break. We're gonna talk about this Rolling Stone list, the greatest two. They were ranking, excuse me, ranking the 200 greatest hip hop albums of all time. We came with our own list too. We both have our list.
Yeah.
You have a list of 100. Like Coop got the alert from the people yesterday, and Coop has a list of 100 records. I don't know where to start, man. Maybe we could start with this Benny the Butcher, man. We were just listening to a new song that Benny put out a couple of days ago. Put out a visual for it. Well, not an actual visual, but it was more of clips. What's the name of the song? Is it "Welcome to the States"?
Let me pull it back up right quick. And yes, Welcome to the States is the
Welcome to
name
the
of it.
States. Yes. Well, Benny took on the Kendrick Lamar "We Cry Together" track. It was produced by Alchemist, right?
Of course.
Yes. So I love what he did on there. Benny's taking on more serious topics. He's talking about the Buffalo massacre that
hmm
happened, a few weeks ago. Peace to everybody, the whole Buffalo, city of Buffalo, but especially the people involved, family members, and all of that. Such a sad, sad, terrible thing. But again, it was really cool to see Benny really go there because you could tell he was really touched and moved by that experience. It happened a few minutes away from his block, he said, right?
I mean, more or less, actually ran into some people down here that actually, they were an older white couple, but they were hip hop fans,
Mm-hmm.
And so we were having a conversation, and I actually put them on to Griselda because they actually used to live down here, but they moved back to Buffalo. And I was like, hey, these guys are from East Side Buffalo. They were like, that's where the shooting happened. I was like, so it's really rough over there, huh? They were like, yeah. They were like, that's not like where you go, you know?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
so,
interesting enough to know that there was somebody who was outside of that community that clearly, some witnesses were saying that he was around there days beforehand, and he looked strange. And like you said, for it to be such a rough area, man, I put it this way, people just got to be on alert when somebody doesn't look like they from around your parts, man. It's probably the case.
well, it's crazy, like we have spent a, you know, no, we've spent the entirety of our existence in America being racially profiled. And now we need to start like profiling, quite frankly, Caucasians coming into our neighborhoods, even though our neighborhoods are like, quote unquote, rougher or more impoverished. Just because apparently, the thing to do now is to run in convenience stores and gas stations, grocery stores and churches and murder us in mass. It's funny how it happens in our communities like that first.
Yeah. Did the hold on? I'm seeing something in the chat. I think from Terminator 2. Did that Mount Rushmore project come out yet? Because we might need to talk about that Friday. Because we have Westmore. Excuse me. Because we have so much to talk about today.
Did Mount Westmore come out?
I
I know
think it did.
Capadonna released the album that we missed.
Okay. The Mount Westmore. Now they got a single, and that's Snoop Cube, E40, and Too Short. It's called
What's the
Subwoofer.
song?
Subwoofer.
No. That's the song from the Snoop Dogg
Oh no no no
algorithm.
no! You're right. That is.
Yeah,
That's
we're already
old.
familiar with that. That made
Yeah.
our top 20 songs list. That song's a
Yeah. I'm
banger.
tripping.
Yeah,
Not Subwoofer. I don't think it came out yet.
yeah, big subwoofer, right?
No. Yeah, that was something that was
Yeah,
already on there. Okay. All
yeah,
right.
that's fine.
Well, yeah. We're gonna get to that probably Friday. if it's out. But yes, as far as that tragedy, that massacre, man. I mean, I appreciate the fact that Benny put pen to pad and he addressed pretty much everything that people are thinking. I think that's the great thing about social media too. Like these artists see what people are saying. They see that some are in these comment sections saying that that's hypocritical of them, but no, he addressed that as well.
No,
Um,
he did.
yeah, and he
He
addressed
did.
it very well. I think that the thing that's blaring here is the fact that he makes songs like this very well. I wish he would do this a little bit more. Terminator 2 says it's out. Well, all right, we'll definitely talk about it Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's out?
Yeah, it's out.
I said, I mean, I was like, hey, didn't we ask for this?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
LP
we asked
with the
for.
super chat says, appreciate the super chat too, LP. He says, won't be here too long. It's clear Rolling Stone had a problem with traditional hip hop. Their their top 10 albums are so spacey, beat minus, what is that? Ready to Die, Wu-Tang, and Tribe. And those aren't too traditional either. It's gentrified. Yeah, we're going to get to that. Ready to Die being number one, I thought was odd. I mean, and I love Ready to Die, but I thought that was very odd. And the
No,
Chronic being
hey,
at 40, I thought that was wild too. I mean, we're gonna get to this, and I have
what did you
hella
say was
notes.
40?
The Chronic.
They put the Chronic at 40?
They put the Chronic at 40, and they put like 2001. Let me see, 2001's at 13. I said this to a friend of mine during the Super Bowl. I feel like they're trying to replace the legacy of the Chronic with 2001. Once again, revisionist history, and
That's
somehow
because,
Still DRE has turned into Dre's hallmark song when it's really G thing. You know what I mean?
well, let's stop and unpack a couple things about that right quick. First of all, on the Chronic, you have songs like The Day the Niggas Took Over and Lil Ghetto Boy. And so the rhetoric on 2001 kind of fits more into those conformed and sometimes confirmed conspiracy theories about how music is audited in terms of how the more violent and buoyant and misogynistic that it comes off, the more that the media will take a hold of it and give it more gravitas.
It's more palatable.
Correct.
And it fits the agenda a lot
better. Hold on, but when you say palatable, the reason I didn't even use that description or depiction is like, according to who?
Exactly.
You feel me? You feel me?
You know.
Who's deciding what's palatable? I believe we discussed some of that last week.
Well, again, look whose list it is. And this is part of, certain media's job to push these narratives so that we go along with it. I mean, I was telling somebody earlier, like, at the end of the day, and we're going to get to this even more in depth. I don't want to jump around too much. But, people on Twitter were saying, yo, you should spend 5 minutes on this. No. The thing is, man, when it comes to publications and journalists, all you have is your credibility. Once that's gone, you don't have a publication. You remember Chris Bouchard was on... Go ahead.
It's very much like being an MC. When you are an MC, you are a writer. But like when you're a journalist and you're a writer, I mean... Okay, so here's the thing about it and where things align themselves. It's like, well, a lot of guys in hip hop don't like the journalistic media, but the reality of the matter is that we're all writers and your integrity's on the line.
Exactly. Every time you do a review, every time we sit here on a Friday and talk about an album, your integrity is up there. I mean, depending on how you handle it. Ask Pitchfork Media, you know what I mean? Like, they put out these articles that they didn't think anybody was going to check. And before, people were like, okay, Pitchfork. Now it's, they don't know what they're talking about. And once you get that label, everything decreases from that point. You remember when Chris Bouchard got so mad at the fact that Kevin Durant tweeted out, you don't have my number, man. You ain't talked to me. That takes a hit of his credibility. If you get on air and say, yeah, I talked to, KD, we had an exchange for hour or whatever, and then the actual source comes up and says, Nigga, I never talked to you. Your credibility goes down. And Chris Bouchard was livid, as he should have. I mean, he's a journalist. All you got is your credibility when you're a journalist.
Right.
And as a publication, all you got is your credibility. You can't
Well,
do
no,
no
no, no.
list if you don't have no credibility.
I'm not going to say all you have is credibility when you have the appropriate financial backing.
Well,
Your
even
financial
with that,
backing matters. No, because there are places there are places in media outlets that exist that really don't practice journalistic integrity that thrive, and there are
Right.
also companies that I would say are dwindling that stay alive because they are financially backed by the right people. Even though the journalistic and artistic and creative integrity of the publication, even though most things are even digital media now, it's still dwindled down, and they're still being financed appropriately by the powers that be.
Well, that money dwindles too when they know that you can no longer control the narrative. You know what I mean? Because at that point you're useless. Like what do they invest in publications for in the first place? They want to be able to control the conversation and control the narrative, and the only way you can do that is if you have credibility with the audience. And when you no
Well, you
longer
see,
have that,
I think
yeah,
I think that's I think that's where kind of like LeBron is winning, where other athletes have never really won before. He is able to step into different mediums because I think he really approaches things outside of his sphere with an integrity.
yeah.
Like he understands the integrity of the other things that he does when he steps into them. And so like he's a great example of just like the integrity in terms of quality of a product, like across the board.
Well, that's where we're at right now when it comes to social media and when it comes to, everybody having their own voice, even shows like ours where we're reading you guys' comments and, putting what you guys are saying into the conversation. You can't ignore the people anymore. And their voices are out there, and your credibility is predicated on not what you're saying per se, but just your ability to hold the conversation with the public in general. Because if you ignore people and you just pick and choose the people that you want to respond to, they know you might be on some BS.
That's true.
No, LP with the super chat says, if the Source made a top 100 rock albums, nobody would care. The rockers would go mad if they put Katy Perry over Metallica. That's what Rolling Stone did. I want to address that too. LP says they put Ready to Die Low in Theory and Wu-Tang to pander. Tabernet with the super chat says, I love A2HH. Y'all get me through my work every stream. Also, shout out to LP, Mad Max, Jay Short, Terminator 2, and all the other super chats. Celtics in 6. Okay. Shout out to you two. We appreciate the love and appreciate everybody who comes here consistently. Like I said, we're going to delve into this list. But what I do want to say to LP's statement about Rolling Stone and them judging hip-hop albums. They're a music publication, correct?
Last time I checked.
And hip-hop is the #1 genre in music right now, correct?
Without a doubt. And has been that way for quite some time.
It's been that way for some time. The numbers were back
for a minute. Yeah.
So we can no longer bail out these musical publications in a sense where we're saying they don't know what they're talking about. If you don't know what you're talking about, you don't need to be ranking anything. And you don't need to be ranking anything hip-hop, and you need to hire on some people who know hip-hop. So you're not going to get that excuse.
And so let's unpack something right there. I'm sorry for interrupting you, Mike.
No, you're good.
Go ahead. Are you sure?
I'm done, yeah.
So my dear friend Andrew, who also just so happens to be white. Once again, yes, Coop has white friends, dear white friends, actually. Don't be so surprised. He sent me, we're both, I told you, Mike, we ran our high school newspaper together. I've known Andrew since I was 15 years old. He's a writer. He's a teacher now. We're always into reading and writing. And he's a hip-hop fan as well. He's a music fan overall. And he shot me another article where this writer, Paul Thompson, does an excellent job of covering Wu-Tang Forever. And when I read this article,
off the top 200, by the way.
Huh?
Which was left off the top 200 greatest hip-hop albums list, by the way.
Well, they know nothing, so that's how that goes.
But
I just want to do that to juxtapose a little bit, just to show that it's like, well, we're not asking that you be black or be from the projects to cover hip hop properly. I'm going to read you the comments that I read that I texted Andrew right after I got done reading this article.
Mm-hmm.
I said, this is a brilliant article, and he knows his shit. He was in my head more than a few times, actually, as in like the things in the article. And I'm going to send you the article. It's on The Ringer.
Okay. The Ringer does a good job.
Yeah, The Ringer does a great job. And he's freelanced, I believe, for Rolling Stone and GQ as well. And I want to read more of his writing. He did an excellent job. I said he covers the meth not being interested in rap. I was like, I can hear that. I said Ghost being the star. I said Jizza disappearing on disc 2. MGM being the best song. I said those are all my mental notes. I said they're the same as his, and I love his writing style. So you don't have to like be from a certain place to connect. And so when we're out here auditing these people, we're auditing the way that they're doing their journalism, because I noticed that he did his homework before he wrote this article.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter where you're from.
Just like with the music.
Writer, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, just like with the music, we're not judging the person, we're judging the work.
Right. When you're a dope writer and you do your research and you do your homework and you do your job and you can actually write, well, guess what? It doesn't matter really where the fuck you're from.
No. No. That doesn't matter. Like I said, it's the end result, it's the work, you know, and it's the integrity that you put behind it. We've read some of those articles, let's just say Nas specifically, right? The tone and the venom that are in some of the verbiage in these articles, it's the different. Tone. It's coming from a whole nother place. We're not asking anybody to like everything, right? That's, you know, everybody's going to have all kind of opinions. That's what music is. Music is subjective, but it's the way you approach it. And for somebody, let's just say like a Nas, again, who has earned this in this game, regardless if you like his music or the album specifically that he put out to a crazy degree, you need to approach it with some journalistic integrity and some respect overall.
Yeah.
You know, bringing up, you know, allegations of abuse in an album review is ridiculous. Where stuff that he didn't even address on these albums, like those are the things that we're talking about when we're talking about journalism getting to a point where it needs to get checked.
Right. Like Paul Thompson is 58 years old. He's a white guy. He graduated from North Carolina, Chapel Hill. And I'm looking at some of his other writing, and hip hop is not even his spear, but he's a great writer.
Yeah.
He knows his stuff. And he did an accurate job of covering this Wu-Tang Forever thing. And I would, based on his age and the time and the fact that he's covering Wu-Tang Forever, because they were on tour with Rage the Machine, that he was probably a Rage fan. And that's probably how he got into Wu-Tang. I would venture to say that.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
A lot of people are saying a lot of things in the chat that I have in my notes. One thing I see, they left out ATLians and Southern Playlistic, but Stankonia got number 2 on the all-time. That is very problematic. Extremely problematic. But before we get into that, are you cool with us going into a little Kanye segue real quick while we get more people in the room? Because I want y'all to hit those thumbs up so we can get more and more people in here to talk about this this top, the greatest albums of all time.
No. Talk your Ye thing. I'm gonna come in. I'm doing my little RZA dig. So maybe between the Kanye thing, by the time I'm finished with this RZA dig, we can scope all that out.
So what's the RZA dig? Because I mean, Kanye and RZA are very similar in the sense where I remember growing up, people used to say RZA was the best rapping producer of all time. That's changed, but
we're gonna get into that in my notes in a second, Mike. But how about this? The dig that I'm having right now and how I'm feeling is actually probably about to get Kanye moved up a notch on his birthday. So How about that?
Oh, cool. Cool. I'm with
that. Yeah. No, I'm a little pissed off right now, Mike.
Mad Max says, LOL, Rolling Stone needs to get struck by lightning for this list. They disrespect.
Remember how it was Wu-Tang Forever last week, Mike?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I ain't feeling like that today.
Really? Okay, let me get to these super chats real quick. Mad Max says, Rolling Stone needs to be struck by lightning for this list. They disrespected hip-hop in a way they wouldn't do any other genre. I can feel that. LP says, hip-hop is a universal language. Anybody can comment, in my opinion, but you have to at least understand it. They disrespect cultural classics. That's the disconnect. I agree. Anybody who could press play and who can put themselves there and understand what's going on and feel. It's a feel. It's about, I don't even want to say soulfulness, but it's a feeling that you get when you hear something or something hits you to a certain degree. And I think everybody can relate to those things. Hip hop is like you said, a universal language, just like music is. Those timeless themes, as Coop would say. But yes, happy birthday to Kanye West. Kanye West turns 45 years old today. Um, and so, we've had a few different questions on our According to Hip Hop post on our social media. One being, what's your favorite Kanye West album? Another one being, what's your favorite Kanye West verse? Kanye West song? What's your favorite produced Kanye West track? That's the one I want to ask you off top.
I was about to say the toughest one is going to be the produced track.
It's
okay.
tough.
So if the job of a producer, I look at a producer very much like a head coach. Your job is to bring the best out in the player / the MC, right?
Mm-hmm.
What he did for Common on the corner, Mike. And so if the job of the producer is to bring out the best in the MC, I actually had to ask myself, it's like, because people were like, when was the last time Common rapped like that? And I was like, hold on, I'm not sure he's rapped like that before. What are you talking about? When's the last time he rapped like that? I was like, I don't think he's rapped like that before. And so just off the top of my head, without thinking about it, I'm going with the corner, because the job of the producer is to bring out the best in the MC.
That's a great choice.
He brought out the best version of one of our all-time great MCs immediately.
Black church services, murderers, Arab serving burgers, cats with gold permanents.
Move they bags as herbalists.
Yeah. The other record that he went crazy on was The Sixth Sense. Now, when you say you weren't sure if he rapped like that before that, The Sixth Sense was crazy. Mike performance.
The Sixth Sense was crazy, but it didn't have the depth and the tone of this. It didn't. The Sixth Sense is crazy, and shout out to Preem, but like Ye still took him. Ye took him like about a half step further on the corner. He did. It's like it's a half step better than the Sixth Sense, beat wise, what he brought out in Common wise. But I feel what you're saying, because where you go to when you hear the corners is like, is he rhyme like this on like Water for Chocolate at all? And the Sixth Sense or Thelonious would probably be the closest to that.
The closest, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Mad Max with the super chat says, once I seen Cardi B on the list alone, but then ahead of who she was ahead of, Invasion of Privacy over Illmatic. And, come on, man. All eyes on me. I almost went into cardiac arrest. I think every hip-hop head did. We were getting blown up on Twitter. Blue Collar Hustler says, what's ridiculous is that many of those albums on the list, they dissed when they first were released. Yeah, it was written, and Midnight Marauders got screwed on day one. They gave, I don't know what they gave It Was Written, but they gave Midnight Marauders a 2 out of 5 rating. Right when I see Don Dada with the Midnight Marauder album cover is his profile pic. Don Dada says, would you ever do a collabo with Dead End Hip Hop? Sure, we down. But what was I going to say, man? Okay. I'm still with the whole notion and the idea of doing, if there is one versus matchup that could save versus, we need to have that Kanye versus the producer versus the artist. And like you said, when you got records like The Corner out there, because I was going to go, as far as like beats go and production goes.
No, I get what you're saying. He's done better beats, like Be Alright by Trina is a better beat than me.
No, I agree with you. Well, I don't know if it's a better beat than that. I think Dreams is one of those where that beat is just hypnotizing, but he didn't do a better production job on Dreams than he did on The Corners. I mean, I love your pick, to be honest. Oh, LP says a song that I love so much. He says, Beats intro, Common killed it on Shy City,
yes,
too.
He did.
Cool. Shy City is my personal favorite song on B.
What? Oh, I rap with the passion of Christ. Nigga crossed me, took it out of space, and niggas thought they lost me.
I'm back like the chiroprac and D-Boy survival rap. You
This
know
ain't
what? This line
94,
almost
Joe.
got him in
Can't go
trouble,
back.
though. This ain't 94, Joe. We can't go back. My man made a
Game need a makeover.
My man retired. I'm a take over.
Over.
Tell these halftime niggas breaks over.
I'm raw hustlers. Get your baking soda.
I mean, I don't want to say a lot of people. Some people I knew thought that he was going, and Nas on that, and I'm glad that wasn't the case. My man retired, I'm gonna take over. Tell these halftime niggas breaks over. Like I mean, I get what he was trying to do, but it could have been taken another way. Great record,
I don't
though.
think. He had enough of a reputation by then. It's like, no. Calm ain't gonna style on nobody like that, like on record for no reason. Like, he ain't that dude.
But that's when we got the line after that, like, they called me Chi-Town's Nas. He came on the next album. He's like, I want to make it clear.
Which is true, because Resurrection came out the same year as Illmatic, and a lot of people were like, dude, he's talking about Chicago in comparable ways that Nas is talking about Queensbridge. So
yeah, definitely. Clayton is Asleep says it was written, got 2 out of 5 as well. Ridiculous. Damn, Rolling Stone. Damn. Okay. So the song that I was going to pull out was going to be 2 Words. I love that track. And I always swear by 2 Words. I could say that 2 Words is possibly his best produced track because of the drums and all of that. It's personally my favorite Kanye West song. And it could be my favorite Kanye West verse. But see, I'm going to spread the love around. I'm not going to do that.
No, I mean, he's one of the greatest producers of all time. So he's got Dr. Dre, DJ Premier, RZA, Pete Rock Problems. It's like which beat are we picking? I mean, I guess with Pete it's a little easier because of They Reminisce Over You. Mm-hmm. But it's like, no, he's got like RZA Primo Problems where it's like, well, which one of these epic beats do you like? You know what a personal favorite of mine is? Like, maybe it's because I was living in Cali when I came out, but it's like I love crack music.
Great record.
I love the beat. I'm talking about like when crack music comes on, boom, 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 boom. Like he got stuff for days, like everywhere. Like,
I think that my favorite Kanye West verse might be his second verse on Chain Heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I might dig and do that. The Chain Heavy verse is crazy, and if you guys haven't heard that, go to YouTube and look that up.
No, that's a dig, Mike. That's a hell of a dig. That is some of his best stuff. You're right.
Yeah. He's rapping at a high level.
I'm actually gonna say that, I think he touches people, and I seen it live the way that I thought that he did, more than any other artist in the modern era. And I'm not just talking hip hop. I think people are touched by him, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
And
triggered and touched.
Yes. But to hear him rap, Mike, on Roses off Late Registration, that second verse is always going to stay with me. The way he ends it. For my family, we know where home is. So instead of sending flowers, we the roses. And that's still my favorite verse. It's still the verse that stayed with me the most that he ever did, because it felt like the most personal verse that he did while still being the person that he was. Like the whole song where he was like, asked the nurse, did she do the research? She asked me, can you sign some T-shirts? Bitch, is you smoking reefer? Can't you see that we hurt?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's Ye in a nutshell. That's
Kanye
everything.
is the realest, man. The realest.
So when he does that is when I love him most. And so those verses on Roses, like, you can pick one.
Vincent Hughes with the super chat says Kanye's verse on They Say is definitely one of my favorites of his.
Yes.
Dope verse. And I was going to go to What Will Meek Do, too, because, again, when you think about B, I think about Daytona, and I think of how he showed up on both of those. Blue Collar Hustler says, Common clarified that line and said he never dissed Nas. I figured that he wasn't. But again,
the What Would Meek Do? The What Would Meek Do verse is better than the They Say verse. Like, that's one. I remember when it came out, I said it's one of his 10 best verses. It might be one of his 5 best verses.
It might be. I won't feel right till I feel like Phil Knight. Going for 6 rings like Phil told Mike.
7 feels nice. You know what that feels like? No more hiding my scars. I show them like Seal, right?
Like he said, man, everything Ye say caused a new debate. It's real, man.
I love it when he say, This hallway too long, bitch too bad. Got a surrogate as kids get two dads. I be thinking, what would Tupac do?
You be thinking what new kids on the block do. Beggar Jones says Rolling Stone just giving Nas more KD3 material. This is true. LP says, not a fan of Ye as a person, but he's top 5 producer.
Yes.
Again, I don't know the person personally, but what I will say is what we do ask of artists is for artists to give us themselves, and I don't think there's anybody who does that better than him. And I think that's Tupac, where the connection is, And
Tupac died when he was 25, so like he's the as far as like watching somebody progress into manhood and still like maintain like the connection and the passion and the emotion of it. Like I said, for better or for worse, like I don't feel like he's made great material on a solo level in a while, but doesn't change like the depth of when he speaks and when he comes through.
Harry H says, any updates on the Patreon? This episode would have been perfect for playing music live. Also, that late registration, Ye, is A1. Much respect, y'all. I guess we should have an update on that one. Next week, you want to, we'll talk over the weekend and try to get those things fleshed out.
Hold on, you want to know what? We should have took a picture. Me and Mike actually sat down at a table together in front of each other on Monday for like 2 hours.
We were meeting,
You should have took a picture of us in the boardroom before.
Yeah, we got some big plans.
We actually see each other. We're actually in the same city.
Right. It happens. LP says, in my opinion, to be a top 5 producer, you have to have a classic single, your own classics, and at least 2 classics for other artists. Ye has those. This is my thing with Ye when it comes to him and comparing him to other hip-hop producers. I don't think there's anybody who has proven that they could take on established acts and basically get the best out of them for a whole effort the way that he has.
Here's the feather in his cap that he have that none of the all-time great producers have. He hasn't given, no other producer has given a classic production-wise to artists as succinctly different as Common and Pusha T are.
Yeah.
No other all-time great producer would say that. You can't say that you produced an all-time great album over here for that kind of guy and that guy. Now, he is the only guy walking around like that, Mike, because of Daytona and because of Beat.
Like Banana Republic and Old Navy.
Mm-hmm.
What was I going to say? Oh, somebody said we got to do a Nas versus Jay-Z versus first. Listen, man. I mean, we could do that on our Patreon or our I guess our exclusive show. It might not actually be on Patreon. It might be through the site. But I'm gonna say this right here, man. Y'all gonna think that I'm trolling, and I'm not. I promised you. But I think that Kanye's material, in my opinion, collectively, his aged better than Jay-Z's. I'm sorry. I'm listening to College Dropout. I listen to Late Registration. I listen to like these timeless themes. And I think it's more of a content thing. Now, obviously, Jay-Z's the more skilled MC, right? Mm-hmm. But I think the fact that Jay-Z latched on to different styles, different sounds, it kind of put dates on his material in ways that Kanye's hasn't. And it also helps that Kanye is an excellent producer, one of the all-time great producers, and he knows how to make music that is just going to be around. Like, I listen to All Falls Down, and we don't care what people say. Like, it sounds like that could have, I listen to that with the same ears today that I did in 2004. You know what I mean?
No, so, I think part of the reason why Ye's music is holding up better, and it's not like it's a wide gap, but I think it is holding up better. I would have to agree with you on that because I think his themes are more timeless too.
Yeah.
It's like some of the themes and the ideas and the motifs he's created have been more timeless, like Jesus Walks, All Falls Down, Like, no, these are timeless things. And he's created some timeless themes, like 2 words, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he works maybe more in the sphere of a Tupac and a Nas in terms of like creating a theme of a song or a moment where it stays with you, like Roses.
He's
more apt to do that than Jay, to give you something that stays over the course of time. because it touches an emotion and a place in you. You know what I mean?
I'm of the belief that the College Dropout is just instinctively a better album than the Blueprint. And again, the missteps that the College Dropout has aren't like the missteps that the Blueprint has. And I also feel like a lot of the stuff with the Blueprint, and again, I think the Blueprint's an excellent album, incredible album.
Of course it is.
It doesn't have the hits that College Dropout has. And on top of that, it doesn't have the depth that College Dropout has. Even when we go like, because I remember we did like a poll, like just with the intros of the album, right? I don't care what anybody says, and I think the poll went more towards the Rulers Back. But if I listen to the Rulers Back as a song, and I listen to We Don't Care What People Say as a song, We Don't Care What People Say is a better song than the Rulers Back. It just is. But I think that the fact that it's Jay and it's Ye, like people are kind of, you know what I mean?
I agree with you, but here's what I'm going to tell you about. And I pulled up my list because I'm like, hold on, Mike, because I was like, I know I have the Blueprint higher than the College Dropout. And I do. I don't have it higher than my Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I'm going to tell you something. When we get even to my list, in the process of doing my list, I even learned some things about myself as a listener, and some things have changed even on my personal list, even at the top, based on me just having to be honest with myself, because I said to myself, like, you know, and you probably do this when you make lists too. It's like, I can't make this list for me.
Right.
And if in the fairness of not making this list for me is why you have something like, I'll just say, Philadelphia Half-Life is at 57. And I love that album way more than it being at 57. You feel me?
Which Rolling Stone left off their list as well. Antonio says, I've been talking about these publications for years, but they seem to become more disrespectful over time. Thank you for calling attention to it. Go ahead.
Now, let me tell you something about the whole Blueprint and College Dropout thing. I feel like there might be I think the classic song level is about the same. But here's what I'm going to tell you. I don't think that's prime Ye as in producer or MC yet. That is prime
that's
J.
Hold on, that is
prime J. Hold on, that is prime J.
Mm-hmm.
With prime Ye on the beats.
Exactly. No, that's the scary part.
And so for me, even though I think, like, how about this? I'm going to listen to Spaceship, All Falls Down, Jesus Walks, We Don't Care What People Say, 2 Words, the Talib and Get 'Em High. I'm probably going to listen to them 6 joints more than anything on the Blueprint outside of You Don't Know and All I Need and Lyrical Exercise. But I still think the Blueprint is probably a better album. Ye has a lot to do with the Blueprint being a better album, in my opinion.
Listen, Ye is the Blueprint. It is what it is, man. Like, we heard what Just Blaze tracks sound like before, as Ye alleges, stole Kanye's style. We heard what his shit sound like. And I think Bink and Kanye kind of brought that whole vibe to the Blueprint. But even with Bink's tracks, they don't sound like the sped up, I guess it's called Chickmunk Soul or whatever they call it. He wasn't taking on that, but he was taking on a soulful sound. But yeah, Kanye's records on there stand out. And you could tell that songs like Heart of the City, those were songs that you build a whole album around.
Well, here's what I'll tell you about Ye. Like, even on this, I think he's probably one of the main contributors on my list of 100 albums. Like, between the material he put out and or produced, or has a track on some, like some of these albums that I have on here. He has a beat on there too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so
that says a lot. LP with the super chat says, that's why Nas is the GOAT, Coop. We've seen him grow with his music, never compromised, went through the ups and downs, and kept his integrity.
No, I'm not only a client, I'm the player president of that. Like, I've been saying that from the jump. You want to know what? Just real quick, I want to go something that I wasn't sure if it was Uncle Frame or Leroy. I think it was Unc. Unc was like, Nas fans need to stop attaching his greatness, per se, to things that Jay-Z has done and accomplished. And he referenced me and referenced how I keep on bringing up how Jay doesn't have a Death Row East. He's like, well, Nas is great enough that you can just say like Death Row East. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so no, and I told him that was fair. And so I'm going to challenge some of our audience to do the same the way Uncle did, because he made a very valid point when he said that. Because I'm going to tell you where it comes from for me. Like, I'll never forget where I was when The Takeover came out and how everybody railroaded around me. And if you're a Nas fan, that probably happened to you too. So there is probably something to that.
Mm-hmm.
But Unc was right when he's like, no. Like, this man has done enough that it's like you can just let it stand how it stands. Like, when we're talking about 444, we don't have to say like
life is good.
Yeah, we don't have to. I mean, unless you want to say, well, it's not as good as Life is Good in my opinion. Let's line the songs up. You feel me?
LP with the super chat.
We need to stop getting personal and be like, oh, well, Jay just took Nas' whole shit and made 444. Now y'all think it's great because it's Jay. Nas did that shit 10 years ago. Your guy sucks. Fuck him. You know what I mean? That's what Unc's talking about.
LP with the super chat says, in my opinion, the themes on CDs, I'm sorry, not CD. The themes on College Dropout age better than the beats. That's the thing, though. It's like there's a magic in the fact that he's so raw. We saw where this guy took it, and to see him in this rare form, it literally is rare form, because you're never gonna see that Kanye West again.
And that's a great flashpoint, but that still brings the quality of it into question, because it's like, and I've always said this, and even though I have late registration ranked lower than the College Dropout. But I love Late Registration more because he's a better producer and a better rapper, and the themes are almost on par and almost as timeless.
Yeah,
and the hits are actually bigger.
I mean, I say this on the show all the time. When he came out with Diamonds, and I heard him out the gate, like, close your eyes and imagine, feel the acid, Vegas, feel the magic, Vegas on acid, seen through East St. Laurent glasses. I'm like, he's a whole nother MC now.
I think the Ye, like, the guy Kanye West, Ye, Yeezus, the legend that he is, the guy that we're talking about isn't the guy on the College Dropout. It's the guy on Late Registration, and that's why I love Late Registration so much. Like, the legend that he is, that's the guy. Like,
I think Gold Digger's a perfect single too. Like,
yes, and Gold Digger
somebody
asked, that's what I'm talking about. That's the legend.
If somebody dropped in from outer space and asked me to describe who Kanye West is as an MC, I'm playing Gold Digger. It
but
does
that's
everything.
What I mean. You can play Late Registration though, Mike, because he's got moments like that. Hold on, what's the shit with Nas? Feeling better than some head on a Sunday afternoon, better than a chick to say yes too soon. Until you have a daughter, that's what I call karma, and you pray to God she don't grow breasts too soon. He's got shit like that
that's
all
Kanye.
Over Late Registration. That's the legend. That's the guy.
Jordan House with the super chat says, Bink did 1-900 Hustler and said I guess he said he said just bit his style and ran with it. I can see
he's right about that. Bink did do 1-900 Hustler.
1-900 Hustler was a standout on the Dynasty too.
That's the best record on there to me.
And honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. That shit does sound like what we know of as a Just Blaze beat now. Yeah. Yeah. And even the screams like that. Yep. The drums. Actually, that shit sounds like You Don't Know. Or You Don't Know sounds like it.
Here's a couple of suggestions on how you can finesse it. You find a dude in town, you send them a short message, say, hey, I'm new in town. I don't know my way around, but I got some pure white that should have come back brown. I get that butter all night because most niggas don't know a brick from a bike. They keep buying hard white. And if you free tomorrow night, we can meet and discuss price. FYI, I've never been robbed in my life.
You know, the Dynasty has some great moments, but overall, that's not a 4.5 mic album like the Source gave it.
It's barely a 4, but 1-900 Hustler is one of the best rap songs I've ever heard. They blacked out.
Yeah, that shit's great. Mr. Pragmatic with the super chat says, The Blueprint is a classic album that aged like milk due to the radio-friendly sound. American Gangsta has more replay value. Wow, shout out to Mr. Pragmatic with the $20 super chat. It's interesting you said that because I was talking to somebody and we were talking about the fact that Rolling Stone has the Blueprint. For the people who don't know, we're going to go over this list. They got the Blueprint at number 3 all time in the top 200. And I said, for some people, the Blueprint's not even number 3 in his catalog. Now, I disagree with that. But based on what Mr. Pragmatic says, I could see him possibly having Reasonable Doubt, Black Album, American Gangster, and then the Blueprint.
No, how about this? If you were to just pop into hip hop today and just listen to the albums, I think maybe you could see some. I can see some of that with the Black Album. I can't see it with American Gangster if you're just like isolating it and you weren't there.
Yeah.
I'm saying this, and I just got done referencing. I still remember where I was and how I got railroaded when the takeover came out. No, Mike, if you was outside when the Blueprint was coming up or coming around, like I'm not about to sit up here and do that and be disrespectful like that.
No. No, listen, American Gangster is not better than the Blueprint to me.
Hold on, no. I want to know when I talk about, well, his reign being the most dominant reign in terms of how the public perceived it since Rakim. This moment right here is the time that I'm talking about.
Oh, one was Jay-Z's year.
And he made the music to back it up. Like when the Ruler's back, the takeover. I like girls. You don't know. Heart of the City, Never Change, Lyrical Exercise. No, you tripping.
And the whole legend that he recorded it in a week
still gets me amped to this day. That's one of my favorite Jay records.
Yeah. No.
You know, it hurt me to find out that he stole it. He still spazzed on it.
Listen, this is how I order it. I got Reasonable Doubt, the Blueprint, the Black Album. Then I'm gonna be fair.
I'm going American Gangster.
I like American Gangster more, but it's hard to put that over Volume 2. It's so much stuff that Volume 2 has.
Actually, I would actually say Volume 1. Actually, I was thinking about that. I would actually, you know how I feel. Yeah. 97 Ho. Give me Volume 1, actually. I don't care what anybody says.
Volume 1 has the most missteps.
The only thing wrong with Volume 1 is the singles. Do you understand?
And those singles are very wrong, though. The thing that I nitpick, and I don't even think it's nitpicking, on the Blueprint 4, Volume 1 does that times 3. You know what I'm saying?
So, no, here's what I'll tell you. Those singles kept Volume 1 from making this top 100 because I swear, like, half the albums on here don't have the 9 songs that he has on Volume 1, including a couple of his albums that made this list. Like the Black Album. They're just better overall albums. Those singles ruined what was about to be an epic moment from him. Like he was about to make like two bona fide classics, and those singles messed it up. Like Imaginary Players is on there. 1,000,001 Questions is on there. Mm-hmm. Streets is Watching is on there. Friend or Foe 98 is on there. Where I'm From is on there. You Must Love Me is on there.
LP with the super chat says the Blueprint ain't even number 1 on Jay's list. Reasonable. RR likes experimenting beats. How Timbaland got more credit in the top 10 albums list than Dre, Premier, Pete Rock, Havoc. Yeah.
Very problematic.
I think he's saying that I guess Rolling Stone likes experimental beats. Listen, man, I love Missy Elliott, and we're going to get to this list in 1 second. But, you know, her album being, what was it, number 7? Miss E So Addicted being number 7 on an all-time greatest hip-hop list. Like, come on.
Picked the wrong album. They picked the wrong album if they were picking a Missy album.
Listen, I love Missy, man. I love Missy. There's not a Missy album that is number 7 on an all-time hip-hop list. It's just not. Well, and I'm pretty sure Missy would say that, too.
And I've said this, too. I said, there's hip-hop, there's R&B, and then there's what Missy and Timbaland gave us.
You're not going to even listen to Miss E So Addictive next to Doggy Style and say that it's a better album. You're not going to listen to it next to 2001. You're not going to listen to it next to... come on, man. I mean, I don't even have to go there. We're going to get to this list because I really want to get to this list at this point. I want to hear what you have to say about RZA, and we're going to get to this list. Everybody thumbs up in the chat so we can get hella people in here. We got 245 people in here. Let's get like 300 people in here.
That's great. Yeah, subscribe to the page. Hit the like button.
That too. Yeah.
Shit. All that. Here's my first notes. Because I based this, the homie Paul that wrote the Wu-Tang Forever article, man, he got me amped up. He was in my head some as a writer. Mm-hmm. It made me listen to Wu-Tang Forever today.
Okay.
And then I realized something. Wu-Tang Forever made my top 100 list. I have it at 100. And I'm going to tell you why. It's RZA's fault. This album is supposed to be much better. and it's his fault. And I'm going to break down exactly how it's happening and how we weren't paying attention and why. First of all, on the first song, Reunited, do you remember how the song ends?
Mm-hmm.
With Takitha saying it's Wu-Tang
Mm-hmm.
and RZA. And RZA.
I
What
never
the fuck
really
is
thought
this?
about that. That was some real
Right.
David. That was some David
Let's
Ruffin
pause for a
shit.
second. It's Wu-Tang and RZA. It's like, what the fuck is this? David Ruffin and the Temptations, nigga? What are you doing?
I never really thought about that.
Well, we need to start
Interesting
thinking
take.
about it because I started thinking about
Okay.
it today.
Okay. Now let me get to the super chat. Hold your thought, because that's some good stuff. Vincent Hughes says, Sunshine popped up the other day on my playlist. It's
Did it
not
pop
so
back
bad. He said, it's not so bad in hindsight. The video is terrible, though. And that really killed the perception.
He said half Philippine thing, let's call her Suki. Stop that.
Okay, so
And I take offense. My Fifi is like, just go ahead.
Wu-Tang and RZA at the end of Reunited. Go from there.
Yeah. Do you remember the intro to this too?
Mm-hmm.
You remember how arrogant he sounds? I told Shorty she don't even need to go to summer school. All she needs to do is buy the Wu-Tang CD.
Mm-hmm.
He's super arrogant on here. Listen, hold on. Listen to my third comment. Mike D says, this is arguably the most lyrically dense record ever.
I've said that.
Hold on. Well, if that's the case, why isn't talked about as one of the all-time greatest albums of all time? You want to know why? Because the beats don't match up to that lyrical output now, does it? Who's the executive producer of Wu-Tang Forever? Mike, what you said might be the most lyrically dense album of all time.
RZA. And
Okay.
honestly, some of my favorite songs on there, because, you know, my top two on there is Heaters and Scary Hours. He didn't do those.
We're getting to that.
Yeah.
Now, they're 10 months removed from Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you what, we've spent so much time talking about how maybe the problem with Wu-Tang Forever is that, well, Method Man is too big of a star. Raekwon is too big of a star. Ghostface is too big of a star. Jizz is bubbled over to the bubbled up from the underground for the first time. No, the problem is the producer thinks he's the star and his output's not the same. That's the problem with Wu-Tang Forever. Because actually, when you look at it, the top performers on Wu-Tang Forever are the top MCs. Inspector Deck, Ghostface Killer, Raekwon, Method Man, and briefly, When You See the Jizza.
Yeah.
They actually did their job.
To RZA's credit, you don't think that he brought it on the mic on this album?
That's what I mean. He's more concerned with being a star, and we're about to get the Bobby Digital in a minute, because now I can see what he was really doing on Wu-Tang Forever. He was creating his persona because he knew he was about to release his project sometime in the near future. So he's more concerned with people getting concerned with him as the MC, and the production suffers. You're too busy trying to be a star. You're the 6th or 7th best MC in this group on your best day, and you're too more worried about your verses. His verses are better than his beats. Let's go to some of the beats on here. Cash Still Rules, Fourth Disciple. Older Gods, Fourth Disciple. Better Tomorrow, Fourth Disciple. Impossible, Fourth Disciple. MGM, True Master. Heaters, True Master. That's 6 of the best 10 beats on the album.
This is true.
You didn't produce 6 of the best 10 beats on the album. Here are his beats. For Heaven's Sake, Reunited, Triumph, Bells of War, Black Shampoo, it's yours. Now, go look at Capadonna's album in March of 98. It's almost handled strictly like he literally jumped in and did, I believe, 3 tracks, Run, Blood on Blood War, and MCF. True Master, Fourth Disciple, and Mathematics pretty much put the Pillage together. I just realized the Pillage suffered because, well, RZA's not executive producing it. You want to know why? Because he's too busy making Bobby Digital that's getting released November the same year.
LP with the super chat says Rolling Stone got Get Your Freak On as the number 8 best song ever. LP also says RZA's production kills Wu's momentum. Cool.
Now let's go to some of the beats on Bobby Digital, like NYC Everything with Method Man. You remember that beat?
I remember that.
That's better than almost all the beats he did on Wu-Tang Forever. Holocaust.
Huh. I got all kind of stories about that song in itself.
Mantis?
That song
Remember
has
Mantis?
a hand in, according to hip hop, being created.
Yeah, Mantis.
Yeah, I love Mantis. That beat was crazy.
Yeah. Aren't these better than some of this Severe Punishment? Isn't this better than Severe Punishment?
Imagine if those beats were on Wu-Tang Forever.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Somebody became more concerned with being a star, and we've always thought it was the MCs. No, it was the producer. And the producer failed us on Wu-Tang Forever. And if you actually look at it, his beat making has never been the same since. And that's why we have to audit this situation, because when I looked at I'm just going to call it what it is. Wu-Tang Forever is great lyrically. It's not executive produced in a great manner. That falls on him. His beats on here are his worst set of beats that he's put out on any Wu-Tang project up to this point.
Up to that point.
Without like a Cream, a Bring the Pain, a Glaciers of Ice, a Ice Cream, a Shadow Boxing to say that there's no beat like that on here. What's the best beat on here that he did? Because I think it's probably Bells of War or For Heaven's Sake.
Yeah, because I don't think Triumph's that incredible of a beat. I think it's the performance of everybody else.
It's the MCs. Black Shampoo, it's yours.
I like This Yours a lot. And Reunited was the first one that popped in my head.
I mean, part of why Reunited is great is because they have the violinist on there. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like, well, he didn't play that.
Clark says, Mike and Coop, thanks for your show. You're righting the wrongs of Rolling Stone. Oh yeah, we're about to go in. We haven't even started.
We about to do
We're just warming up.
I literally put this in my notes. I said he pawned Capadonna off so he can make a solo project and didn't take care of Deck. You pawned off Kappa. You didn't take care of Deck. You too busy talking shit on Wu-Tang Forever. You too busy. You get what I'm saying? This is why Wu-Tang Forever didn't cut off, because here's the thing. He was the one that kept everything concise and kept it tight. You're like, Iron Man came out August the year before?
Mm-hmm.
It's June.
Yep.
Like, you done had 10 months. And this is what I was about to say. How all-time great can we call him, and how high should we have him? Because I just went down the list and counted how many tracks he produced before Wu-Tang Forever.
I mean, it's the thing, man. And we've had this discussion before, and I
produced
think we
80 tracks.
I think we had this discussion before a few months back. RZA made some of my personal favorite beats in hip hop history.
Yep.
But I think I said this too. When it came time for the Grave Diggers to do their album, Prince Paul was the producer.
Yep.
And now that you bring up these things on Wu-Tang Forever,
I'm
sorry.
Over.
I mean, if you're all-time great, top 5, top 3, whatever, you can't get outproduced by two other guys on the out. You know what I mean? Like, that's a tough sell.
Well, not even that. Well, here was what I was about to submit.
Two other guys who aren't top 10. Let's just be real.
No, right. Well, here's what I would submit to you is that he produced 12 tracks on Into the Wu-Tang, 13 tracks on Takao, 12 tracks on Return to the 36 Chambers. His crown jewel, he did 15 tracks on the Purple Tape, which is his best beat output ever. 12 tracks on Liquid Swords, 16 tracks on Iron Man. That's 80 beats. Hold on, no. That's 80 beats.
Wow.
After those 80 beats, though, Mike.
Yeah.
Because in those 80 beats are probably about 20 of the best beats we've ever heard.
Right.
But no, in those 80 beats right there are 20 of the best beats we've ever heard.
Straight up.
But what I was about to tell you is how many beats has Dr. Dre produced, Mike? How many beats
has DJ is that a trick question?
Yeah, no, look at what I'm saying, because what do we do when I talk about people going to work?
What's the thing where it's like
his best work in terms of volume, like the beats are there, but is the work there? Because after Iron Man, the work's not great. He's not an all-time great producer after Iron Man. Wu-Tang Forever is the proof.
LP with the super chat says, facts, Coop. RZA said, I can't cut your way out of a wet paper bag. Shaking my head. All the rappers got better, and the beats got worse. The W and Bobby Digital were trash. Now, The
Name one
W.
beat.
I
Hold
feel
on,
like he
name
took
one
on
beat
a
on
lot
the
more on
W
the
that you
W,
would
right?
keep. I like the W. Outside what? Hollow Bones and Careful Click Click are probably the only beats on there I would keep.
LP
Did
says,
he even do Hollow Bones? I don't even know if he did that beat.
I
That
don't
might
know
have
if he
been
did
True
that
Master.
either. I don't know if he did that either. LP
Right.
says Supreme Clientele saved Wu, and RZA only did 3 songs.
And he didn't do the best beats on there. He did Nutmeg, The Grain, and what else? Mighty Healthy?
Did he? No. He didn't do Mighty Healthy.
Who did Mighty Healthy?
That was
Carlos Brody.
no, I think that was Mathematics. Carlos Brody did We Made It.
Either way, that's the best beat on there. Hold on, did he do Wu Bang? Who did Wu Banger 101?
I think RZA might have done Wu Banger 101. I
I'ma give
should
him
know
Wu
this
Banger
stuff like the
101.
back of my hand. That's my album.
I'ma
Tom
give
Annette with
him-
the super chat says, I'm gonna get flamed for this, but Iron Flag has dope production. Love that
No, it
album.
doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Man with the super
You're gonna
chat
get flamed
says,
right now. No, it doesn't.
America's Most In-Depth Certificate, What the Album, Muddy Waters, Doggy Style, The Chronic, Illmatic, Ready to Die, The Infamous, Into the 36 Chambers, and Wu are among the best. Yes. Oh, we got Leroy Green in here. Did you miss all the blueprint action we had going on? I feel like I missed the super chat. Nah, I don't think I did. So, okay. Is that what you wanted to say about RZA? Because you know what? I don't want to sit here and big up Kanye again, but we can say a lot about Kanye West as an artist and as a producer. I think he's one of the more selfless that we've ever seen. I mean, he gives some great production to other people because he knows that he doesn't fit on it.
Mm-hmm. So the RZA produced the W too. So we're gonna give him Careful Click Click, Hollow Bones. I thought the Let My Niggas Live with Nas was pretty dope. I Can't Go to Sleep with Ghost was dope.
Yeah. I like those songs more over time than I did when it came out. Now, Hollow Bones, I like that the moment I heard it.
Hollow Bones? No. I love those.
No, Hollow Bones is crazy. I'm talking about
crazy.
Can't Sleep. And Let My Niggas Live, I thought was underwhelming. At the time, I was expecting a crazy joint from Wu-Tang and Nas together. I just was.
Okay.
Maybe my expectations were too high. They were verbal intercourse high, probably, but yeah.
I'm about to say, I think that's that verbal intercourse thing because it's like when I hear Ray, Nas, and Deck on there, it's like nobody raps like this anymore, like at all, except for Ray, Nas, and Deck when you hear them now, right?
Chris Hogan says the Blueprint can't be top 5. It has 4 weak songs. Listen, man. I agree. I agree. I just think that the Blueprint was a great moment.
Hold on. First of all, I will tell you this.
I don't think they're quote unquote weak. Hola Ho Vito's not a weak song. It just doesn't fit on.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I don't consider Hola Ho Vito to be a weak song. I think it stands out because it's not. You know what? You know what happened is that what kind of happened to him on the Volume 1 kind of happened on the Blueprint too. I don't love the singles and the singles attempts, but he's a more well-rounded he's a more well-rounded writer and author of songs, and so he's better to navigate those waters better because I don't love the records on the Blueprint are the records that are the singles that I don't love. Izzo, I like Girls. I don't care what anybody says.
So if
you can convince Slick Rick, Bismarcky, God bless, and Dougie, I mean, and Q-Tip to sing the backup, to a song, to your second single, you're pretty big, and I like the verses, and I like the extra version, but the Jigga Jigga, that nigga Jigga, the Hola Ho Vito, the Izzo thing, it's you could have kept it.
Yeah, man. Gnarly dude, I Puff Bob Marley,
that's one of Kanye's worst beats. It's oh great, you took a Jackson 5 loop, how original.
Gnarly dude, I Puff Bob Marley dude, like Rastafari's dude. Okay, you ready to get into this list?
We can. Because here's what I mean about well, RZA already fucked them over business wise. It's you know what I mean?
Oh my god.
No, I mean it. I'm not happy. I'm not high on him. You think I don't like Talib? It's I don't like RZA at all when he talks. Every time he talks, I'm just play shadowboxing and shut up, nigga. Stop ruining my formative years by opening your mouth.
RZA is one of my personal favorite producers. But yeah, it's
Oh no, he's probably my personal favorite producer because of those projects before Wu-Tang Forever. But I mean, it's like when I look at the work that Pete Rock has done,
yeah.
you know, Cream,
That's what
Alchemist.
I was saying when we were talking about this a couple of months ago. Pete
No, you were
Rock
right.
made, he made, you know what song I'm talking about, the West Side record. Come on,
What?
huh? West Side, Benny and
Oh,
Conway,
Brutus. Oh
Brutus.
yeah, he did Brutus. Yeah.
I mean, the last thing I could point to the resume that I was excited about, and I kind of knew it was going to be something, was Dark Fantasy, the intro to my Twisted Dark Fantasy. Now I
And,
love that
and,
record. It ain't Brutus
and
though.
here's and here's what I think we need to do. It's like he might. I mean, I think the best way. Hmm. I don't. I don't even. Was he the best producer in hip hop from 1993 to 1996? Is that fair?
I think so. I think that's fair.
Okay, so how do we contextualize that? Because that makes him the best producer in like arguably like either the first or the second best era. So
Yeah,
that's pretty
very
high, right?
strong era. Yes.
Right. Right. He's the strongest producer and arguably the strongest era for the MCs. He's doing the beats that the MCs want to rhyme over the most. Your best MCs want to rhyme over his beats the most, probably. Him and
But I
Free.
always thought that the greatest conversation was more of a marathon than the sprint, no matter how tough that sprint was, you know?
And I can. How about this? Here's how I feel about it. Well, you have to run enough of the marathon to be in the conversation. So I remember Barry Sanders only played 10 years, but when he walked away, he had over 15,000 yards and was on the verge of breaking Walter Payton's rushing record the next year. He would have broke Walter Payton's rushing record in his 11th year in the league.
Yeah.
That always stayed with me. And so I felt like he ran just enough of the race, like got to 100 touchdowns, got to 15,000 yards. And as far as like the eye test, for people I've seen, there's not even anybody close to him on the eye test. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he got,
And you know, like you
played.
said with RZA, the ear test is there, man. Like those
No,
beats.
and so-
if
and
I
so-
pull
and
out
so-
20 RZA beats, it's tough for anybody to compete with that.
No, it's tough. But what I'm saying is that Barry Sanders played 10 years, though.
Yeah. Mike 100 with the super chat says, in 01, Jay was the MVP, but lost the finals to Stillmatic. That is a great way to put it.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, that is brilliant.
Because it also kind of like, because, you know, the blueprint is the fall, and like Stillmatic was the end of the year in December.
End of the year. You know what? I'm about to get to this list.
Yeah, let's go.
Let me go ahead and, I kind of went out for a second, I guess.
I just want everybody to know Wu-Tang Forever is not the MC's fault. It's RZA's fault. And I'm going to keep on saying that shit, too.
Oh my
I'm going to say
God.
that for a very long time.
I know y'all
Anytime
probably
somebody
just
bring up
see
Wu-Tang Forever,
me.
be like, yeah, it would have been better if RZA did his job and stopped trying to be a rapper.
All right, I got the list up, man. So I'm just gonna scroll through it, so everybody who hasn't really seen the list, so you don't have to go out on the website or whatever. We're gonna scroll through it and then we're gonna talk about it. Do you see me on the screen, or you see the joint on the screen? Are you watching?
You want to know what? No, I haven't.
No. If you're not watching, that's fine. I just wanted to see.
I'm about to say, I'm not watching our shit, Mike.
Okay,
I'm
cool.
doing work, nigga. No, I'm playing. I got you. I'm up. I'm on it. Okay.
Right.
Up. No, see, now I gotta cut the volume down.
Yeah, you gotta mute that real quick. Okay.
My bad, fam.
No, you
Wait a
good.
minute.
You good.
Okay.
You good.
Okay, what's up? So now, no, I can't see my list, but I think I'm a little.
No,
delayed.
not your list. I'm talking about. I got the Rolling Stone list up.
Oh yeah, I see. You got Travis Scott up right now,
Okay.
right?
Yep. All right. So
it's very problematic.
Astro World's 200. 99, we got Juice WRLD, boom. I'm not gonna say all of these. I'm just gonna scroll through them. We'll stop. Stop me when you see something crazy.
Stop you when I see something crazy?
Yeah, stop me when you see something crazy.
Astro World's at 200, Mike. We could have stopped right there.
Okay, all right.
Astro World's at 200, Mike.
Astro World's at 200. Draco the Ruler. Cold Devil. 190.
Hold on. They got Bandana at 197.
They got Nipsey's Crenshaw at 189.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Hold on. Long Live ASAP shouldn't be that low.
I think you got a delay going on, but yeah, I don't think it should be that low.
You know I live in the woods.
Okay, so we got War Report at 187. I think that was on purpose. 187. I don't like
187,
this one.
War Report.
I don't like
That'd be
MC
so funny.
Light's Light as a Rock being at 185.
Why not?
I think it should be lower than that. I mean, not lower. I think it should be higher than that.
Why?
Oh, we'll talk about it. I'm just gonna
Okay.
scroll through them right now
No, I'm scrolling.
because
I
they
see you
got
scrolling.
stuff like Little Sims. Sometimes I'm an introvert at 180
I get what you're saying.
because of things like that. In a Major Way is 178.
That needs to be higher. Camp Lo needs to be higher. I put Camp Lo higher. Camp Lo. Oh, can I tell you something I did with my list?
What's that?
I don't do that whole compilation soundtrack shit.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
Flo Milli.
No Rough Riders, no sound bombing, no none of that. None
Flo
of that.
Milli at 172. That Ho Eyes You Hear.
Hold on. What did you even thinking about the fact that West Side Gun's only album that made it here is Fly God, and
We're
there's
gonna
like
talk
no
about
Pray
that.
for Paris Love.
We're gonna talk about that.
I want to talk about the fact that West Side Gun had one album in here, and it's like that's what I mean. It's like, oh, well, I know you don't know shit. It's like y'all just tried to go back to origins of his stuff.
Yet
It's
Pray
like,
for
it's
Haiti
just-
is on here at
Pray for Haiti.
168.
I'm sorry. Pray for. I love Pray for Haiti. Hold on. First of all, and let me just say this and say this respectfully. I didn't put any album that came out in 2021 on my list at all because it hasn't been enough time.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Pray for Paris and Alfredo are the only albums that have come out in the last 3 years that I thought even deserved to make any sort of list.
What about Polo G Die a Legend being 161?
That's not a top 250 album. So next. And I say this and I want to be clear about this. Well, KD2 and Magic aren't on my list either because of that. Because that all just came out last year. You feel me? We got to be fair across the board.
This one stuck out to me, man.
I was like, I should put Magic in here somewhere. And then I was like, well, this shit's only came out on Christmas Eve last year.
Lil Nas X's Montero or whatever it's called. Yeah, Montero is 151. And it
hold
came
on.
out
Let's
last
back
year.
up. 156 and 155. Quick is the name. And the sun always rises in the east. And Lil Nas X Montero is ahead of that. That's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's a big problem. Quick as the name is it might be the most essential West Coast rap album that doesn't get discussed.
We got a super chat here. I want to get to that real quick. You know what? I might have to come back to this. All right. DJ Tim Space King says, Earl Sweatshirt first album produced sound like early RZA Method Man to Cal. It's my favorite. My favorite, my number one. My number two is ODB's first album. I love that record too. Okay.
He likes the gritty RZA production stuff. The Roots have no business being on this list with How I Got Over.
Yeah, I mean, How I Got Over being chosen over Philadelphia Half-Life is beyond me. Okay, we're going to keep going through here. Run the Jewels 2. Oh, now this is where I had a problem too. And it's in my notes. I'm going to get to that. LL Cool J's Radio being at 147. I just think that that's just disrespect. Oh man, what happened to my? I think damn Rolling Stone cutting me out.
You got haters.
They don't want me. They don't want me to break. They don't want us to break down this list. Okay. Oh, another problem I have. Common B being 145.
That's hold on.
I love Rock Marciano's Reloaded being 144 though.
Okay, so I could understand if you don't have radio. Radio needs to be in the top 100. It's too important not to be in the top 100.
It's too important. It's too important.
But
and you got Lil Uzi's Eternal a take
when you
over
have
that.
B at 145, I like that Rock's on the list. Rock probably deserves to be on the list somewhere. I don't know where he would fall. None of his projects would fall in my top 100.
I like the listening being on here, but I think the Minstrel Show is the
Minstrel Show is a superior effort.
Yeah. Now here's another problem.
Hold on one second. No. This is important. Like they got B at 145. That's where I'm going to have to start questioning your hip hop ear. You feel what I'm saying? Because now you're taking one of the best pieces of work that I think I've ever heard, and you're literally placing it like 100 steps further back than it deserves to be, probably. You feel what I'm saying?
Literally 100 steps back. Because to be real, when we talk about hip hop in the 2000s, Beats top 5. In the early, like from that
Oh, you're talking
decade,
from?
2000 to 2009, the first
Oh
decade of
yeah.
hip hop, Beats top 5.
I mean, it's top 3. I mean,
Yeah,
what you got? I got Supreme Clientele, and then I got B probably.
I got
How did my
beat.
list
Yeah,
go?
no,
Look, you
I
making me
agree
have to
with you.
check. Hold on, let me get out of the chat right quick and check my list. I'm pretty
No,
certain
no,
the
we're
way
gonna get to your list.
the way my
Let's
list
stay on
is set up,
topic.
Mike.
Let's
The
stay
way
on
my list
topic.
is set up,
We're gonna
B.
get to your list. We're gonna get to your list. Now, it was written at 140.
You see my list.
It was written
What?
at 140.
I don't.
Okay.
It might be his best mic performance. How are you gonna have his best mic performance? What are we doing?
The City Girls is 138.
I mean,
Period.
so if you want to, we can have the "It Was Written Illmatic" conversation now. They don't like Nas. That's the conversation. And next.
Okay. Slum Village, Volume 2, fantastic. I love that record.
Where do they have it?
137.
Well, hold on. Where do they have Fantastic at?
Fantastic's at 137, but Doja Cat's at 136.
See, the problem isn't that Fantastic is at 137. I think that might be appropriate. The problem is the albums that they're placing in front of an album like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
So
placement might
we
be
got
appropriate.
Doja Cat's Planet Her in front of It Was Written and Fantastic Volume 2.
Hold on.
Let me keep going.
Okay.
Ricky Rose
So,
with the Teflon Don joint. Oh, I got a problem here
yes.
too.
So,
Me
yes,
Against the
Mike.
World's 134.
It's very problematic. So, yes, Mike, in the 2000s, I believe, according to my list, it would go Supreme Clientele, B, and Get Rich or Die Trying if we're going 2000 to 2009, according to Cooper.
Okay.
With the Blueprint falling right in.
I think B's a better album than The Blueprint.
I have B at 25, and I have the Blueprint at 35. So do I.
All right. All Eyes on Me. Not All Eyes on Me. Excuse me. Me Against the World at 134. Rolling Stone should be ashamed of themselves for that.
Me Against the World is at 140.
134.
Isn't Dear Mama on there?
It is.
Okay, Dear Mama's a top 100 rap album, Mike. Next.
It's insane. Killer Mike rap music is right below that at 133. And I love Killer Mike.
I like
But there's
that. That
no
might
way
be a
in the
little high for
world.
that album, though, Mike. That might be a little high for that. That's a little high for that album.
Then you got Forest Hill Drive at 132.
That's low.
Then we got Fish Scale at 131. You're right, that is low. Mecca and the
That might be
Soul
appropriate.
Brother. Oh, this is the one I have a problem with. Playboy Cardi, Whole Lot of Red, 129. That's better than Me Against the World. So, all right. I'm going to tell you guys a story. Like, I listened to Whole Lot of Red. I think it came out on Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
That shit sounded like noise, man. That's one of those projects where I was like, am I getting old and just don't really understand what's going on? Because I don't see the appeal. And to the point where you're telling me that you got this ranked over Me Against the World, I'll keep going because we can go into all this. Big Pun, Capital Punishment. East 1999 is at 127. Capital Punishment's at 128.
Okay, so right there, I think. Like,
And then
no,
this is where the haymakers come though, Coop. Not to interrupt you. Right
No,
after
please.
that, you got Savage Mode at 126, and I love 21 Savage and Metro. You know, peace to his family and everything too. But come on, man. Savage Mode over Capital Punishment and East 1999?
No, that's wrong. So East 1999 made my top 100 list barely, and Capital Punishment fell right outside the 100. That was one of the albums I was considering that didn't make my top 100, but it would probably fall somewhere between 1 to 120. Sorry, my daughter baked some apple cinnamon muffins.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta partake in that. All right, so 125 is Drake. If you're reading this, it's too late. Oh, and then
That's actually, hold on, stop for a second. I actually thought that was too low for that album, and I put it higher because I think that's a top 100 rap album.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think it's his best project in my personal opinion, even though he didn't write it, but whatever. Speaker Box Love Below. I don't think this should have been included, especially if ATLians and Southern Playalistic isn't included. So
Well, this is what I said when it's like, well, I don't do compilations. I don't do soundtracks. I don't do Lauryn Hill singing.
yeah,
more
we're
than
taking
rapping.
that off too. We're gonna talk about that.
I don't do Missy and Timbaland because that's not rap. That's Missy and Timbaland. I don't know what that is, Mike. I'm still trying to figure out what that is. I've been trying to figure out my whole adulthood life what it is that they just did to us.
Souls of
I mean, that in a
Mischief.
beautiful way.
All right, so 123, Souls of Mischief. All right, and then we got Nerd. Why is Nerd included here? And I love Nerd. That's not a hip hop album.
It's not, Mike.
That's a rock album. I
Thank you
always
for saying
thought.
it.
And I love In Search Of. And then they got Tribe at 121 with People's Instinctive. And this is where it gets disrespectful. Right under that, and I got love for Young Thug. Y'all know I say Young Thug's a legend. But you got the Barter 6 over People's Instinctive. Come on,
And you
man.
call me disrespectful, Mike.
Come on, man.
That's disrespectful to People's Instinctive.
Missy Elliott Under Construction at 117. Jungle Brothers, straight out the jungle. Love that record. I'm just going to scroll through it, but here was where I want to stop too. The Black Album, 113. The Disrespect.
Let's stop.
The disrespect is all around. And then right under that, and no disrespect to Rhapsody, you got Layla's Wisdom, like right above that. No one will tell you. No one will tell you Layla's Wisdom is better than the Black Album.
How can your hip hop ear have the Blueprint at what, number 3?
Yeah. And the Black Album at 113.
Black Album at 113.
You literally have 110 spots. You think that you think the Blueprint and the Black Album were 110 spots different?
Can I tell you something?
Go ahead.
The Blueprint is better produced than the Black Album.
But he's
I'll
rapping
take
better.
the songs on the Black Album.
I think he's rapping better on the Black Album too. There's not a point on the Blueprint where he's spazzing like he did on What More Can I Say?
If he has an all-time great delivery, like if his delivery is like top 5 or top 3-ish, the Black Album is the evidence of that more than anything else, including the Blueprint and Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah, I would like to ask.
Love me some Threat, Mike.
I would like to ask any writer, how do you have the Blueprint and the Black Album 110 spots apart?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some people don't even some people debate over which album is better between the two.
I mean, that's 2 and 3 on my list in terms of him. It goes Reasonable Doubt, the Blueprint, the Black Album. And I always say, it's like, well, if you tell me that you like the Black Album more than the Blueprint, I'm not going to argue with you because he's rhyming crazy on there.
Cool. I agree with you 100%. And you know who else agrees with us? That's Jay-Z's actual order of his albums as well. Reasonable Doubt, the Blueprint, and the Black Album.
Does he have Volume 1 at number 4? 97 Hov? Does he have 97 Hov at number 4? Probably not.
By any means necessary is 111.
That's disrespectful.
Biz going off is 110. Breaking Adams 109. Damn.
Hold on.
Daytona 108. I like that. But
I got Breaking Adams at 92. So they're in the wheelhouse with Breaking Adams. They're only I got Breaking Adams at 92. You thought it should have been higher?
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
It's okay. I mean, it's okay where it's at, but I know it's a great album, actually. Yeah.
I think it's rated. I think sometimes it gets overrated. That's why I got it at 92.
106 is my album, man. Old Dirty's Return to the 36 Chambers.
No, I think that's about right. I think that's a perfect rating for that album.
105, Chance the Rapper Coloring Book. Can we talk about Chance real quick?
Can we take him off the list first before we do it?
Chance has zero impact. What's Chance's impact in this game?
I told you I didn't know he still rap. Does he still rap?
I don't know.
Right.
Don't ask me. Thug Motivation 101 is actually at 101, and I think they did that on purpose. I think that's corny. That
might be a little high for that album, actually, Mike, and I love Jeezy.
Okay. Now let me get to the top 100, and we're gonna discuss this. But I figured it would be important for us to go through like this. Raising Hell 100, The Carter 2 99, Company Flow 98. That's an important album. What do you think about this? What say you? Oh man, they just cut me out again. Let me reload this thing. What do you say about Hell Have No Fury being 97? What do you say about Hell Have No Fear being 97, yet Lord Willing being 12? Spoiler alert.
That's the problematic part. So pretty much y'all heard Grinding and made up your mind. Like, how about this? If you put Grinding on Hell Hath No Fury, It's not even. It's like maybe the fourth or fifth best record, maybe.
Trap music at 95. Oh, the 90s got some bangers. You got De La Soul is Dead at 94. You got Death Certificate at 93. Criminal Minded at 91.
No. Let's stop right there. Death Certificate and Criminal Minded are at 93 and 91. Now I want to know how old the people are.
Oh, they old. We're going to get to that too.
Oh, they are?
Yeah,
they don't know shit.
You know, how can you have the guy one of the guys that you guys rode on, I forgot his name. Was it Will, the writer? For he wrote, what was it? It was a review for, I think it was KD too, and you guys were riding on him. He was a part of this. I'm gonna put the images up. Yeah.
He's on the panel?
Yeah, I'll go through the people's names and everything too.
I like how they put themselves out on Front Street, so we didn't have to. That was great. That's a smart move.
Well, you know, like Water for Chocolate's 86. I actually think that's about right for that album.
I have it higher, but yeah.
The Slim Shady LP, 85. You know?
No.
All right.
He didn't make my top 100, unfortunately. And the Marshall Mathers LP where'd they have the Marshall Mathers LP? They put it like in the top 10?
They had it at 25.
Oh.
They hear what people are saying about this man's catalog. So they were very,
so they probably, that's
strategic.
Why Illmatic and Reasonable Doubt are right there to pacify.
TD's, yeah, that's who it is. Will Dukes. Yeah, he was one of the guys who picked this.
Oh,
he was a part of the panel.
He was involved again?
He was involved again, yeah. All right, so 82.
That would explain part of the reason why this list is like this. Didn't we just establish that he don't know shit?
82, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick. Whoa.
No, we pausing right there. No, we pausing right there because now I got a problem. This is what I'm talking about. So y'all are telling me.
We'll pause right there. I'm gonna let you get the.
That's hold on.
I'm gonna give you the camera back.
You just named Death Certificate.
Mm-hmm.
Criminal Minded.
Yeah.
The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick. While we're going through the 80s and the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not of hip hop, but in terms of where the album is ranked all time.
Yep.
You don't know shit. Right here. Right here is where I can give you evidence that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you didn't know what you were talking about, I want to get this straight. Death Certificate.
Yep. No. I want to start. Let me go back. Let me rewind.
The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick, which arguably has 4 of the 50 to 100 greatest rap songs on it on one album.
De La Soul is Dead was like 94, and I want to say Death Certificate was 93, and then 91 you had Criminal Minded.
De La Soul is Dead, Mike, but that don't got shit on no Death Certificate or Criminal Minded.
But the Great Adventures.
No, I love De La Soul is Dead.
Great Adventures of Slick Rick birthed some of the greatest ever. Not to mention, it's one of the greatest in itself.
Than all those albums you just named. Like it's just they don't know. They don't know no better. Mike.
I mean, you got A Children's Story, you got Mona Lisa, you got Hey Young World, and you got Teenage Love. Go ahead.
But don't these publications call Nas a misogynist? How do you feel when like Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick comes on and treat her like a prostitute's the first song getting played? You think it's gonna get proper run from them? Because they're quick to audit black culture and how we treat our women, you know?
Yeah, but Eminem could go out there and make a record about killing his child's mother and, you know, it ranked number 25. So, you know, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd he say? I'm going to kill you. You ain't nothing but a girl to me. I mean, I don't think anyone's been more hateful towards women in records than Eminem has. Just saying. Okay.
I'm just saying.
82, Great Adventures of Slick Rick. And then they got Diggable Planets Blowout Comb at 81. And I love Diggable Planets, but they would even tell you, come on, man.
Do you love Diggable Planets?
Earl Sweatshirt at 80 with some rap songs. And then you got Follow the Leader at 79. And then
so
we got
no rap songs next to Follow the
Leader. Hold on. It gets crazier. Follow the Leader at 79. And then my girl Iggy Azalea, Broke Expensive Taste at 78. Okay, I'll keep going.
Hard to entertain
Watch the Throne, 77.
Watch the Throne's not a top 100 rap album. It's not a top 150 rap album. It's not a top 200 rap. Matter of fact, Watch the Throne would make my top 250.
76, Hard to Earn. Gangstar. Oh, and then at 75 we got Megan Thee Stallion, Fever, which would be over Follow the Leader, Greater
They're
Bitches
trying.
is Slick Rick.
They're trying too hard to appease a generation to garner notoriety on this list. They got. I want to say this again, and damn it, they don't got to be black people. Get you some hip hop people. Stop doing this dumb shit. If you want to cover hip hop topics, get you some hip hop people. Pay some people who are actually involved and immersed in hip hop culture.
Fear of a Black Planet, 74. I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to get through this real quick because we're going to go.
I have it higher than that, but I'm going to give them marks for actually knowing what the hell Fear of a Black Planet is.
Oh, man. Bizarre Ride. Love that. Far Side. That's 73.
Not a top 100 album.
Dr. Octagon, 72.
It's not.
Queen Latifah, All Hail the Queen, 71. Whoa.
No.
The Fugees, The Score at 70. Iron Man, 69. Juvenile, 400 Degrees, 68. I love that. Ghetto Boys, We Can't Be Stopped, 67. 3-6 Mafia, Mystic Style, 66. I'm going to talk about that.
No, stop. That's where Mr. Don't Play. That's what Mr. Don't Play from Project Pat goes in at. That's where Mr. Don't Play goes in.
Mr. Don't. You know, somebody was like, well, you know what? Maybe it's a generational thing, but my thing is no. Miss E So Addictive came out in 2001. Mr. Don't Play came out in 2001. You don't have that at 7. And Mr. Don't Play not on here at all. And it has Chicken Head. And the record that you guys put at 16 from Cardi B, Invasion of Privacy, stole Chicken Head for its hit single. What are we talking about? Okay, well, I'll get back to the list.
But you digress, Mike. Get back to the list. Go ahead,
okay.
As you were.
Below Mind State, 65. I like that.
I like that.
Get Rich or Die Trying, 64. Black Star, 63. Okay. MF Doom, Operation Doomsday, 62. Scarface, The Diary, 61. Kendrick Lamar, Damn, at 60. Life After Death at 59.
Can we pause again?
You want to pause on that?
You have Ready to Die at number 1. And you have Life After Death at 59.
So Ready to Die and Life After Death are 58 spots apart.
You don't know. Like, this is, no. Real talk. It's like when you have a 110 album gap between the Blueprint and the Black Album. When you have a 58 album gap between Ready to Die and Life After Death. You don't know what you're talking about. Period. Like, period. Like this is what I'm talking about. It's like, no. I'm not here to provide evidence. It's like, when you saying that, it's like, no. I want to do math now. It's like, so you have 58 albums between these albums. He's a better hook writer. He's a better MC. He's a better song maker. Even most of the production is better. The songs are more memorable. And you think that it is 58 slots below. And you think that Ready to Die, which just on an engineering level, you can tell was recorded at 2 separate times, is the greatest rap album of all time. When, in most people's opinion, the greatest rap album of all time literally got released about 6-7 weeks before. You know nothing. Like, you haven't done your research. You haven't done your homework. And here's how horrible they are. I went into the Shade Room this morning, and even the people in the Shade Room who I know nothing about hip-hop were saying, Illmatic's not number 1. What are these people doing?
You know,
it's bad when people are in the Shade Room saying that.
That's why I thought it was important to go through the whole. You know, that's why I thought it was. That's why I thought it was important to go through the whole list, because it's not even just about what's number 1 and what's in the top 10.
It's the gap.
The whole thing is ridiculous. When you
you
got the Black Album at 113 and the Blueprint at 3, people need to see this. Mm-hmm. We need to go piece by piece, and it's cool. We got time. We got time. You know what I mean? And that's why I love the fact that you guys tune into our show, and we really are gonna dissect this, and we're gonna go piece by piece, because they think people ain't gonna go through this. They think people are just gonna pay attention to the top 10.
Do you remember when Jamie Foxx, like, I forget which comedy show it was, where it's like, well, I'm not saying she's a crackhead, but it's like crack-ish. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not saying that they are some crackheads. I'm just saying they doing crackhead shit with this list. You feel what I'm saying?
I feel you. So, we're at 59, Life After Death. 58, America's Most. 57, Beastie Boys, License to Ill. And 56, No Name, Room 25. This came out in 2018. You want to know what?
I might have done a disservice. You know, everybody's list is different. I didn't include License to Ill in my top 100, and I probably could have or should have. But keep going.
What do you think about No Name, Room 25 from 2018 being ahead of America's
No.
Most
I don't
Analyzed
think
Film?
about that. That's why I like it. Just going to let you keep talking because this is more evidence they don't know what they're talking about. This is ahead of Follow the Leader, which has Microphone Fiend and Follow the Leader and Lyrics of Fury on it. Like those 3 songs are better than like that whole album.
A Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders.
Where do they have it?
That's 55. And then right after that, we got Migos, Culture, 54. Listen, you know
that's
me.
very problematic.
You know me. That's super problematic.
I like Culture. Culture's a great album.
I love Culture, and I love the Migos, and I was happy for the Migos. I listened to T-Shirt the other day, man. But you're not gonna sit here and listen to Culture, and listen to Midnight Marauders, and tell me that Culture's a better album. It's just not.
Or a comparable album.
No, it's not even. No. Okay, we'll keep going. Salt and Pepper, Hot, Cool, and Vicious, 53. I'm cool with that being what it is. Kanye West, The College Dropout, 52.
I feel like Very Necessary is a better album, though.
It is.
Is it not?
But it's
Very
not as impactful as the other one. Yeah, it is. I think that the impact part of it, I get it. I'm fine with that. But again, y'all niggas
it didn't impact like that, though, Mike. That was the thing about it.
This is my thing, and I'm just going to say it.
Very Necessary impacted.
I'm just going to say it, and you kind of alluded to it with the Megan thing, with the fever. The fact that y'all don't have LL's Bad on this list, and you got Radio at like 147, but you got Hot and Vicious here at where it is, sounds like you're trying too hard. And I get it, women don't get included all the time in hip-hop discussions, and women are doing their thing in hip-hop, and women should get included more. But this sounds like you're trying too hard to be inclusive in that right. You know what I'm saying? And I say that respectfully. And I only say that because justify for me how Hot and Vicious is here, and Fever's here, and Radio is up in like 147. Come on, man. And Bad's not even on the list. Like Bigger and Def is not even on the list. What are we doing?
No, shout out to the women. Okay? And I don't think there's a hip-hop media organization, publication, entity that unpacks the dynamic and even discusses the spirit of women in hip-hop with the consistency that we do. This feels like they're trying too hard. Like, I just love being able to pull up and say, Che Noir made one of the best rap albums this year. She's getting Album of the Year and MC of the Year contention because she just fucking earned that shit. Yeah. You don't have to gotta push. Like, let the shit be there, because here's the thing. Like, Funknified and Hardcore on my list, because you want to know what? Like, they deserve to be there. I didn't have to force it when I thought about it. It's like, no. Hardcore deserves to be here. Funknified deserves, Hardcore,
but see, this is the thing. We talked about this on one of our earlier episodes too. One of the first pieces that we did that really blew up. Hardcore's at number 19, but y'all totally left Foxy Brown off this list. Mm-hmm. What's going on with this industry and people just shitting on Foxy Brown? You know what I'm saying? And acting like she never existed.
Told you she's been blackballed.
Because they did a whole, ABC special on ABC Network when they were promoting that Queens show that, Eve and all of them on. Mm-hmm. They highlighted females in hip hop and nobody said anything about Foxy Brown. And then now I see a list like this. Foxy Brown's not even on it?
You're not allowed to, Mike. They'll cut your water off if you talk about her. They didn't tell you that?
That's crazy, man.
They'll cut your water off if you talk about her. These niggas the worst.
51, we got The Roots.
Hey, look here. No. I want everybody to understand this. I'm not saying this. First of all, this is not a Nas channel. Like, Jay has too much influence in this hip-hop sphere. That is why I say some of the things that I say. It is not fair for one man to be dictating some of the paces that he has paced. That Foxy Brown shit is on him.
You think that's I don't know that. We don't know.
No, he got something to do with that shit, Mike. And I'm tired of people acting like he not the guy that was originally behind all the shit. How about that?
Because when her and Kim were going back and forth,
Mike, he blackballed her. He got that ball rolling. Be a man about it. Say you fucked up.
All right, let me get back to this list. So we got The Roots, 51, right? Things Fall Apart. And then we're going to get to this last 50. But yeah, I want to talk about this Foxy thing more too. Cause
she been blackballed, Mike.
She don't deserve this. She don't deserve this.
She doesn't.
50, we got EPMD Strictly Business. 49, we got Straight Outta Compton. Damn. Okay.
You want to know what? Straight Outta Compton for me.
The impact alone, though.
We keep on saying that, and that's what I mean. I found out something about myself doing this list. It's like, no, I like it when the music is there and the impact is there. See, Criminal Minded.
I feel you. But again, if we're going to be consistent, you got Hardcore at 19, right?
Right.
48, Dilla Donuts. We got 47, Missy Super Duper Fly. We got...
They love some Missy.
They love Missy. Again, trying too hard. That's all I'm saying. 46.
Missy got more albums in there than Biggie, than Nas, and Tupac, than Rakim, than KRS-One, than Cool G Rap, than Big Daddy Kane, than Slick Rick. I want people to like. I love Missy.
I mean, let's just call it what it is. I mean, listen, man. Like you said, inclusive is great, but earn it, man. And I think that everyone would feel the same way, right?
If she has a rap album, Super Duper Fly is the rap album. It should get top 100 to 200 consideration.
All right, Tyler, the Creator, 46. Call me if you get lost.
It's too soon. I told you I done picked
anything. And that's ahead of Follow the Leader and all that stuff. Okay. Mama Said Knock You Out, LL Cool J at 45.
Hold on, stop, Mike. They put Mama Said Knock You Out at 45?
Yeah.
That's why they put Radio back. You can't be hazmat now because I have radio somewhere where they have Mama Said Knock You Out.
What about Bigger and Definite?
I understand how important radio is because Mike, if we're being objective, I'm putting radio in when really I feel like putting bad in, and I would move radio just objectively. If we're taking the impact feel of it off, because he's rap's first superstar and first solo MC, that is the impact of radio.
That is the impact of radio.
But Bad and Mama Said Knock You Out are better. But about what you said, I put radio in my top 100, but in my top 125 would be actually Mama Said Knock You Out, Mr. Smith, and Bad in the top 125. All three of those albums would make my top 120. Well, I mean, I kind of already started making it, so that's how I know it's going in there.
Is my screen stuck? Because it's stuck on Tyler. It's not moving.
Hold on. I'm a few different places right now. Let me jump back into this.
I think my joint's stuck on Tyler. Hold on 1 second, guys, because I don't want to do that. A little technical difficulties here. Okay. All right, cool. Jizza Liquid Swords, 44. Run DMC self-titled album, 43.
I'm not about to let that slide. They got Liquid Swords at 44. You don't know anything.
It gets worse, man. Big Daddy Kane at 42. With All Hail the Kane, and we got Late Registration at 41. Then we have, this thing is loading crazy. Okay, here we go. The Chronic at 40. 39, we got the Carter 3. Good Kid, Mad City, 38. Only Built for Cuban Links, 37. Acid Rap by Chance the Rapper, 36. 35, Doggy Style. 34, the Sugar Hill Records Story.
Let's stop.
That was weird. 33, 3 Feet High and Rising. Go ahead.
Okay, so they have 3 Feet High and Rising, the Purple Tape, Doggy Style, and the Chronic between 30 and 40.
Everybody get some thumbs up in the chat, man. We got almost 400 people in here. I'm going to rewind that.
Everybody give those motherfuckers some thumbs down.
We're going to get to them. All right. So here we go.
No.
Let's start at 40. Did you want to start at 40?
Style, the Chronic, 3 Feet High and Rising, and the Purple Tape between 30 and 40 on Greatest Rap Albums Ever.
You got the Chronic at 40. You got the Carter 3 at 39. We got Good Kid, Mad City at 38. We got Only Built for Cuban Links at 37. We got Acid Rap by Chance the Rapper at 36. You got Doggy Style at 35.
They put Acid Rap ahead of the Purple Tape?
Yes. You got Sugar Hill Records Story at 34. And then we have 3 Feet High and Rising at 33. Damn, what's 32? Oh, Chief Keef, Finally Rich at 32.
You joking? I want to see the fucking list. What the fuck?
Are you looking at the screen?
Not anymore.
Okay. Oh, and 31, Pink Friday, Nicki Minaj.
I bet you they did take it off their front page. I would take it off my front page too. Where is this list at? I'm listening, Mike. Go
Beastie
ahead.
Boys, Paul's Boutique at 30.
You like Paul's Boutique more than License to Ill, don't you?
I do. But License to Ill got the records. I think Paul's Boutique is a better album. It's more creative and all of that. But when we talk about just straight bangers, it's tough to beat License to Ill on that. All right. 29, we got All Eyes on Me, Tupac. 28, The Infamous, Mobb Deep. 27, Aquemini by Outkast. 26, Reasonable Doubt. 25, the Marshall Mathers LP. 24, Illmatic.
They got the Marshall Mathers LP scrunched between Reasonable Doubt and Illmatic. They think they're slick. That's where we need to stop and talk.
I think we do need to talk about that. That was very slick, right?
They tried and they squeezed Tupac in at 29 and Mobb Deep in at 28. And Outkast, you see what they just did?
Mm-hmm.
You see what they just did? Hold on. Let me 29 is Tupac for All Eyes on Me.
Well, let me rewind. Okay.
No. 28 is The Infamous. No, Mike, I got a great memory, Mike.
Yep.
He goes
29.
All Eyes on Me, The Infamous, Aquemini, Reasonable Doubt, the Marshall Mathers LP, Illmatic.
Yep. They scratched them in between all of them.
I would strangle them if I hadn't found the Lord. That album deserves nowhere to be considered with the rest of those all-time great hip-hop rap classics. These motherfuckers ain't shit, Mike. I need to get a swear jar. They got me.
You know
what? You see what they did, right?
You see what they did?
They tried to put the Marshall Mathers LP. I want everybody to hear this. They just tried to put the Mike, you don't have to worry about going on any more rants. They just tried to put the Marshall Mathers LP in between Illmatic and Reasonable Doubt with a little Aquemini, The Infamous, and All Eyes on Me to back it up.
Yep, all kind of credibility surrounding that. Mad Max says, stop covering this list. Y'all
look cracker-ass, white-ass country.
Mad Max says, stop covering this.
These are some sorry-ass white people doing sorry white people
shit. Come on.
I'm sorry. Okay.
All right, come on. Mad Max says, stop covering this list. You're giving me a brain aneurysm. Okay, so yeah. If you missed it, 26, Reasonable Doubt. 25, Marshall Mathers LP by Eminem. And 24, Nas's Illmatic. Then you got 23, UGK's Riding Dirty, which I think is weird. Then you got 22, DMX's Dark and Hell is Hot.
No,
then
I like
21, Lil Wayne, The Drought, 3. 20, Future, Dirty Sprite 2.
These dusty, and they made sure he had a top 25 rap album. That's what I mean. You see how they did it? I want you to understand how foul they are. They'll slide Jay. They slide Jay's debut and best piece of work outside of the top 25 to give this motherfucker some play.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me that this shit is not about race.
It's rigged,
That's
man.
what he's not about to do. That's because he's white.
Hardcore by Lil' Kim is at 19. Mad Villainy is at 18. I like that.
I don't.
Kanye West Yeezus is at 17.
Yeezus is a piece of trash, Mike.
And
Yeezus
this is the one that's been getting
album.
people worked up. Cardi
Yeezus
B
is trash. No, Mike, we can talk about Yeezus. Yeezus is trash.
I haven't listened to Yeezus in years. And you know me,
because
I'm a
it's
Kanye
trash,
guy.
Mike. That's why you haven't listened to it, because it's trash.
So Hardcore is better than Illmatic. And then we got Cardi B at 16 with Invasion of Privacy. Can we talk about Cardi B real quick?
That was the one that triggered everybody.
That was the one that triggered everybody. And
that was the trigger.
I'm going to say this, man. I'm going to say this. Cardi B doesn't even make music. And I'm going to make a bold prediction. I don't think we're ever going to get another Cardi B album anyway. She was one and done. I think she's more of an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? Like, she might make some songs here and there. But Invasion of Privacy was 2018. I know we talked all our Kendrick shit while he was on his break, but at least he had other albums before it. She has no other projects. And Bodak Yellow was even before that. Like, she's not going to put out any more music. And why should she? Because at the end of the day, she's relevant today without even having to put music out. So why even risk putting out a dud? We're never going to get another Cardi B album. So with that being said, the fact that they're going to immortalize this project when honestly, it shouldn't even be on this list anyway. And now it's at 16. At the highest, it should be 150 or above or something, if you want to do that.
I mean, how long? They said 200 greatest rap albums?
Yeah.
I don't even think this is a top 300 or 400.
I don't think so either. I'm being nice. Because again, you know, this isn't inclusion, right?
I got done being nice. See, I kind of jumped through the list, but I stopped being nice the moment that I realized that shit went Illmatic and then went him, Reasonable Doubt, Do you hear what I just said? Illmatic, the Marshall Mathers LP, Reasonable Doubt, Aquemini, the infamous All Eyes on Me.
Yeah. They tucked them right in there nicely.
Remember when I said they were crackish and not crackheads? No, they some motherfucking crackheads. They some junkies.
We're gonna get back to this list. We're almost through this. We're almost through
for VCRs. You know what I'm saying? They the bad type of junkies. They don't know nothing.
Cardi B, Invasion of Privacy at number 16. Number 15, Paid in Full. Seriously, guys? Okay.
They're making my head hurt.
You put Invasion of Privacy next to Paid in Full. The disrespect. Ghostface Killer, Supreme Clientele 14. I like that. Yeah.
No, that's about right.
2001 13. And I'm going to get into that, you know, because I think that they're starting to rate 2001 higher than it needs to be for whatever reason.
We can talk about that.
Clips, Lord Willin', number 12.
They're so wrong. I'm sorry, like Lord Willing's not a top 100 rap album. Like Till the Casket Drops actually deserves more consideration than Lord Willin'. They just talking about grinding. They probably haven't even listened to the whole album.
Drake, Take Care at number 11.
They need to take care of this list and do better. Next.
Lauryn Hill, Miseducational Lauryn Hill at 10.
That's not a rap album.
It's not. And I love Lauryn. It's not a rap album. A Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory at 9. Low End Theory's at 9. Into the 36 is at 8.
What's that, 8?
Into the 36 Chambers is at 8.
No, that's about right too. They did like 3 things right.
They did that to appease us. And then look what they tucked in. Miss E, So Addictive at 7.
And that's where they lost me. So they tried to tuck the whole Wu-Tang shit in between Missy and Lauryn Hill.
Yeah. And then you got at 6, you got Kanye West.
I'm not being funny. How many women are on this panel?
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay. I'm just curious because it's like I'm all for women like being in the sphere. Like Missy, what her and Timberland did really wasn't rap. And y'all don't have Foxy Brown in here. Y'all don't have Funkdafied in here. Y'all don't have Rhapsody's Eve in here. Y'all don't have Rod Digger's Dirty Harriet in here. Y'all don't have Queen Latifah's Black Rain, which is actually a better record than her other. You get what I'm saying? So it seemed like y'all just throwing shit in here and y'all didn't do no work.
Nas the GOAT asked if Most Def Black and Both Sides is on here. Yeah, I think it was at like 10 something. It was up there.
That's where it belongs.
Number 6, we got Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
I'm okay with that.
Number 5, Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly.
Not okay with that. Can we stop again?
Sure.
Don't you ever put To Pimp a Butterfly close to It Takes a Nation of Millions to hold us back. Don't you ever fucking do that.
Well, see,
that
this
is not the same experience. No, they try. See what I'm saying about how they're trying to change history? They're trying to make it seem like those records have equal impacts. They do not.
They don't.
You slide that shit all the way back away from Chuck D where it belongs.
Once again, revisionist history, right?
Revisionist history.
I remember me being the big To Pimp a Butterfly person, and everybody else was saying Good Kid, Mad City, including Kendrick himself. He ranked his own albums. He had Damn at 2, and he had To Pimp a Butterfly at 3. Now we're trying to change the order of everything. Where To Pimp a Butterfly is the classic.
No, they're trying to make him into Chuck D. He's not Chuck. Get this shit right. He's not Chuck. He's not our savior. He's not our leader. Remember him crying on the album? About everything. I'm under so much pressure. I'm stressed out. Right. Remember him on Crown? I can't please everybody. I can't please everybody. That ain't Chuck.
It's true. Chuck took that leadership role.
This nigga went outside and then went to Ghana as soon as he got outside. I don't want to hear this shit.
Whew. Number 5, To Pimp a Butterfly. Number 4, we got Public Enemy. It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. Incredible album. Number 3,
hold on.
We got The Blueprint.
Hold on,
Go
No,
ahead.
they went super conscious, and then it just starts getting gangster. It's like, oh, we got Blueprint and Ready to Die at 3-1. They don't know what they doing.
And
They
then
suck.
at number 2, you got Outkast Stankonia. Such a weird pick. And then
They're
at number
weirdos.
1, you got Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die. Okay.
These guys are weirdos, man. They got Stankonia at what?
At number 2, all time.
Stankonia's not even the second or third best album in their catalog.
This is the thing. I think
In
that there
their
was
catalog.
no.
Y'all got it number 2 all time. This is what I mean about how, like, this is evidence they don't know shit. You could not find a motherfucker in Atlanta that thinks that's even Outkast's second best album.
I
Do
think
you know anybody in Atlanta that's from here, Mike, that thinks that Stankonia is Outkast's second best album?
I think
let alone
there's
the second greatest rap album of all time?
I was telling somebody earlier today. I think it's a general consensus. I'm sorry, I went out for a second. I changed something up. It's a general consensus that Stankonia is Outkast's 4th best album.
Easy.
I mean, it's just. I mean, there's nobody you're gonna ask of a certain age, especially that was around when these songs and albums came out, that's gonna tell you that Stankonia is better than Southern Playalistic. Stankonia is gonna tell. They're gonna tell you that Stankonia is better than ATLians or Akumanai. No one's gonna say that.
Hold on.
And I'm gonna get to the super chats now, guys.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
I was
they just
reading
said
the
we missed
list
some super
and stuff,
chats.
so
Yeah, I just seen that.
LP says, Mike, scroll up, miss some of the super chats. All right, let me get to some of those super chats. I didn't have my mouse or whatnot, man. I was going through the list. LP says, Nas talks about empowering women and he's a creep. Cardi talks about being a hoe and she's top 16. Shaking my head. Y'all missed some super chats. Yeah, we're going to get to that. And y'all can start the super chats and stuff again now since I, am kind of back at the controls. But yeah, nobody's going to tell you that Stankonia is better than Akumanai, Southern Playalistic, or ATLians. Mad Max says, stop covering this list is giving me an aneurysm. I remember getting to that super chat. Let me go to some of the other super chats. Dumb It Down says, I can't believe y'all went through this whole list. It's clickbait. They get money off you clicking through the list. Y'all click through BuzzFeed articles. I mean, listen, it ain't about that. Listen, at the end of the day, I feel you guys. They're going to get their money anyway. They're Rolling Stone magazine. They've been around since 1964. The bottom line is they thrive off of being credentialized. And people need to see some of these things so that you can, as actual fans and viewers and lovers of hip-hop, understand, you know what? This ain't the place to go to for music. You need that evidence. Here's the evidence. And if we have to click an article to give 400 people that evidence at one time, I'm down to do that. 400 plus people, because it's going to be people to watch the rebroadcast too. Y'all got to see this. I know it's painful to watch, but you got to see
sometimes
this.
I don't think people understand because of how big they are and because of how big their inherent following is and how algorithms work in this digital sphere that we work. When they crank stuff out like this is the equivalent to the 1920s and the 30s with yellow journalism. It's false information. It's poor journalism that lacks journalistic integrity, appropriate critiques, proper context, proper placement, proper people providing the context and the placement. It is yellow journalism. When you practice yellow journalism, you reshape and reshift history for those who are not as privy to the culture as you are, to step in and audit the culture based on the words that you disseminate to the people. So when you put Cardi B's album at number 16, you're not only doing a disservice to the culture, you're doing a disservice to the future of the culture in the process.
Yeah.
That is why we're doing this.
And that is why we have to break these things down, because if you let these things go unchecked, then the record will show 5 years from now, everybody was okay with this. LP says...
hold on, no joke. This is how Hitler got in office. Like, you keep on feeding people shit. Like, people don't understand. Hitler's ascension to power took about 7 to 8 to 9 years of him pulling the same shit over and over again and taking more and more leverage until there was none left. People use that dichotomy to exercise their power in all sorts of spheres, the media being the most prevalent in the United States at doing it.
LP says it's disrespectful that they didn't even bother to do the research. Go into a hip hop conversation and they would know how off this list is in the culture. And that's what we're doing right now. We're having a hip hop conversation with 400 hip hop fans live. And I'm looking forward to seeing like the rebroadcasts and the comments there too. Let me see who else we got. Man with the super chat. I'm going back and getting some super chats that I missed. He said this list was composed by someone who thinks they know hip hop and definitely not someone that's tuned into the history of the culture. Y'all want to see the people who did this? Well, let me put them on the screen. I got to put people on the Summer Jam screen. Where are the contributors? Oh man, it's not letting me do it. Hold on 1 second. Do I not have the image anymore? See? God said, you know what, Mike, don't do that to the people. Oh, there it is. These are the people that put together this list. And there was a couple of writers that didn't show their faces on their social medias. I'll go down the list of names and stuff too. But let me get to some of these super chats that I missed. It's About Damn Time says, I haven't seen this list, but Machiavelli better be on it. Nope, Machiavelli's not on it. Machiavelli didn't make the top 200 at all. Yeah, let's dumb it down. Sorry, guys, I'm catching up on the super chats, and we're going to get back to the regular scheduled program. But yes, I had to put the people on the Summer Jam screen. You know how we do. And I'm going to go through the names so y'all can find them on their social medias, too, so you can let them know what you think about the list. LP, I think I'm caught up with the super chats, right? J Mar says, I'm dead serious when I say this. I think they put out 200 albums in a hat and pulled them out to do this list. Yeah, seems like it. So what was your reaction at this list? Or what were your notes? Nas the Goat says, no Lupe shaking my head. Food and Liquor or The Cool should be on this list. And it should. I agree with that. Kenneth Palmer says, Rolling Stone gave Tribe's Midnight Marauders 2 stars when it was released. Now it's the top 100. Worst list ever. What were some of your notes? Because I want to get to some of my notes.
Well, let's get to your notes.
Okay. First note, Astro World at 200, right? I think I said that when we were going through. I didn't like that. I think Astro World, I'll put it this way, because I saw a lot of albums from 2018 upward. I would be hard pressed, especially on the mainstream, to say that there are 10 to 5 albums, really, that I will put over Astro World like that.
From when? From what time?
From 2018 to now. And they had a number of albums from 2018 to now. And none of those albums that they had listed were better than Astro World. From 2018
to now, the only albums that I have above Astro World that would make this list, because I would take 2021 off, because it's not fair to put something in there, so we're pretty much talking from 2018 to 2020. Well, I would have Pray for Paris,
me too,
Daytona, and Victory Lap ahead of Astro World.
And Alfredo.
And Alfredo.
Yes.
That would be it. Yes.
And none of them were on the list.
Right.
So, yeah, Victory Lap not be... Okay, let's start there, because I have my notes of the stuff that didn't make the list, right? That's a whole separate note. Okay. So the albums that did not make the list, that were left off, that were blaring to me, and we were just talking about this album. Diddy's No Way Out.
I got No Way Out on my list.
How is No Way Out not on this list? How is Macy's? How is Macy's? Right. I mean, we were just talking about No Way Out. No Way Out had like 1 million singles. It made like
it's too much smoke on there, Mike.
It's too much smoke on there. You got Victory. Come on. How you got Biggie at number 1 and you don't have No Way Out on this whole 200?
Hold on. All jokes aside, I can't think, and listen to what I'm saying, I don't think it's the best posse cut record ever, but All About the Benjamins is the biggest posse cut record ever.
It is.
That's Puff, a Deceased Big, Prime Kim, and a Hungry Locks. That record is bananas.
And the beat is crazy.
The beat is one of the best beats of all time. Kim and Big's verses, some of the best verses of all time. I told you that's her seminal verse to me.
It is.
Wanna rumble with the B, huh? Throw a hex on the whole family.
Dressed in
all black like the Omen. Have your friends singing, "This is for my homies."
Yeah, man. I don't understand how that album's not on here.
She crazy on there, and the only thing that supersedes her being crazy. It's the guy that was about to be the greatest MC of all time having one of those "I'm the greatest MC of all time" type of rap performances.
I've been had skills. Cristal spills. High bills in Brazil. A lot of Miller Ice Grill. Man, come on, man. Fuck a state pen. Fuck hoes in Penn State.
Fuck hoes at Penn State.
What?
Listen close. Close. It's Francis, the praying mantis. Attack with the left. My right hand spit.
Attack with the Mac. My right hand spit. Yeah. My left hand spit. Yeah. Right hand flick for the whip on the smooth getaway. Yeah, you got that. You got Young G's. You got
Will Spray. Right. Yeah.
You got that. You got Young G's. You got Victory. You got Been Around the World. You got Can't Nobody Hold Me Down. You got This
Young
Is the End.
G's. You got street shit on there. You got Young G's. That's big in J.
Ant Learn says recreated hip hop genre and don't own it. So what do we expect from people like them? To see, this is how we do get ownership back. We need to talk about these things. They should listen. I understand everything y'all are saying, but they shouldn't even have the audacity to put together this list in the first place.
They shouldn't feel comfortable.
They shouldn't feel
comfortable level.
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking about the money and the power and the people backing them. It's the fact that they're comfortable doing this, and now even comfortable to the point of putting their faces up on it. It's like, well, 4 black faces out of 11 doesn't cut it for me.
And they're comfortable.
I don't know what those 4 black faces represent either, because they're attached to Rolling Stone.
But cool, they're also comfortable doing this because they think that, you know what, they're just going to ignore this anyway. What are they going to do? Are they going to talk about it? Are they going to break this down? They're not going to do anything. And honestly, ignoring things is doing nothing.
They don't know
it's not
we
an
outside?
action.
No, they don't know we outside.
Yeah. Okay.
They know we outside. They just think they too big. I'm trying to tell you. It's like, no. They know. Like
they want the clout, but I don't know if this is what they want.
No. Like this is when a mob boss knows that the feds are taking pictures, but he still steps outside the front of the building to let them know he's not intimidated or scared. They know what they're doing. No. They know we hearing that this shit is not okay. They're literally stepping out into the front of the building while we're taking pictures to let you know. It's like, no. We're still the boss.
We're doing our job. We're doing what we got to do. Clark says, you are wrong. They did research and decided to revise the list to be inclusive and pander to new artists in the process of discrediting themselves. I don't know if they feel like it's that important to discredit themselves, but maybe. I don't know. I'm not in the psyche. So, all right, this is what was left off. Diddy No Way Out, I think that's inexcusable. Mace Harlem World, West Side Pray for Paris, Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist Alfredo.
Yep.
Outkast Southern Playalistic, Outkast ATLians, Wu-Tang Forever, Coming Out Hard, 8 Ball MJG. They had UGK's Riding Dirty at 22. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you
Coming Out Hard.
Yeah, no Coming Out Hard here.
Right.
Nas Stillmatic is missing. Scarface The Fix is missing. They got Diary on there, but The Fix is missing. It came out the same year as Lord Willin' that got number 12 on your list. And The Fix was actually the best.
Superior album. It's a far superior album. I love the clips. It's a far superior album.
Another superior album that came out in that year, and you guys are going to be shocked that I say this. The Eminem Show not being on this list is shocking to me.
No. They know what they're doing. They're playing chess now.
They're playing chess now.
Don't get it twisted.
And it's unfortunate because
I just don't buy the bullshit.
The Eminem Show is not only Eminem's best album and his best mic performance and his deepest mic performance and most balanced performance, but it's the highest selling rap album of all time. So the fact that they left that one off was interesting to me. T.I.'s King, I think, could have gotten a slot on here, but they put trap music on there.
No. I got. How about this? I have trap music and King on my list.
Okay. And it should be. Section 80, I think, should have made this list.
I don't.
I think if Missy Elliott's on there 4 times, I think Section 80 should have been on this list.
I don't think that shit should have been on there either. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Below the Heavens, Blue in Exile, should have been on this list. Kanye West Graduation should have been on this list. Victory Lap should have been on this list. Dog Food by Dog Pound should have been on this list.
I don't have Dog Food in my top 100, but Dog Food would be in my next 100 to 200. Yeah. Oh, they did 200. That's right.
Yeah, they did 200. The Carter, 1. Bigger and Deffer, we talked about that. Okay. And I'm going to go to some more notes. I got a lot of notes, guys. I'm sorry. Blue Collar Hustler says food and liquor is missing. And yes, it is. You're right.
That's not. Okay, so I'm not the fan of food and liquor that everybody else is. I'm more of a fan of the cool. The cool would be in my top 100 to 200. I cannot promise you where food and liquor would fall on my list. I cannot promise that.
You ready for my notes? I'm gonna like breeze through my notes and then we'll get to you, if that's
We
cool.
can just do my list and do your notes, because if
Okay.
I probably do my notes, I'm probably gonna go and call white people some things that.
Okay, well we'll go through my
Right.
notes and then we'll go to your list because Coop did 100 and yeah, I can't wait to get to it. So yes, the Astro World thing being at 200. I don't like MC Light's Light as a Rock being at 185. I don't like Flo Milli being at 172. Sorry. The Soul Food at 169. I think Soul Food is a top 100 hip hop album. Pray for Haiti being 168.
Shouldn't be on the list.
And yeah, and Pray for Paris ain't on there. It's mind-boggling to me.
It doesn't deserve to be on the list.
Childish Gambino's Because the Internet doesn't deserve to be on the list.
No.
And I went to that show after he put that album out. Polo G doesn't deserve to be on the list. And y'all can call me whatever. Lil Nas X's album doesn't deserve to be on this list. I don't even think he's rapping on there. Like, there's no rap bars on there. Does anybody have a Lil Nas X bar? How I Got Over, I have a problem with that being there, with Ill Half-Life not being on there. I've already talked about LL's Radio being at 147. I think that's just too low. Common B being at 145. That's incredibly low. Uzi, Eternal Atake at 143. See, again, this is what I'm talking about with the Astro World thing. Like, there's no way in hell this album's a better album than Astro World. You got this album, like, what is it? 50-something, 57 spots ahead of Astro World? That doesn't make sense. It Was Written being 140. I think that's self-explanatory. And the City Girls being 138. I think my problem with the City Girls being in 138 is the fact that It Was Written as at 140. Again, trying too hard. Slum Village being one spot below that with Fantastic Volume 2 at 137, and Doja Cat being one spot ahead of Fantastic with Planet Her. I don't even think she raps like that on this album, and to put that above Dilla's Masterpiece, I think just doesn't make sense.
Is that his masterpiece? Beat-wise, I mean, you're talking production-wise.
Yeah. Fantastic Volume 2. I mean, the whole legend behind Fantastic Volume 1 and the fact that people were trying to seek out this tape in Detroit. Like, I think that there could be an argument made. Fuck being an argument being made. I think this is the greatest Detroit album of all time. This is like Southern Playalistic is to Atlanta for Detroit.
What?
Yeah. Fantastic Volume 1, yes. That's Detroit.
Really? Is it like
Southern,
that?
yes, it's like that. That shit is legendary.
It's like that? No. You know,
Yeah,
Slim used to
because
tell me that
Volume
back
2
in the
was
day.
kind of a
No,
re-release.
T used to tell me that back in the day, but it's like, I didn't know it was like that. Like
Yeah,
that.
Volume 2
She's
is like
all
a
the time.
re-release. Like, the buzz was just so crazy, they had to put these songs back out. Like, I remember I used to go on, what was the name of that site, man? It was not LimeWire, but it was one of those sites that was before, like, the streaming platforms, and it got shut down. Anyway, I would have to go get Volume 1 off of there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those projects. Me Against the World being at 134, and then you got Playboy Cardi, A Whole Lot of Red at 129. I think that's just stupid and disrespectful to the life of Tupac Amari Shakur, man. All right. Thug at 120 over Tribe's first album at 121, I thought was crazy. I think the Black Album being at 113 and the Blueprint at 3, that's crazy. Like you said, 110 spots. Death Certificate at 93, insane. And then, you know, and I love Vince Staples. We rock with Vince Staples heavy. But he's at 84 and Death Certificate's at 93. And then Slick Rick, 82. Azalea Banks at 78. Megan's Fever at 75. No Names album at 56. Tyler at 46. Acid Rap at 36. Listen, 36, and you know what? Even the Chief Keef thing at 32, I disagree with, but at least I can note Chief Keef's impact. How is Acid Rap 36? By what stretch? We got big songs here. We got.
Were they doing acid? Were they doing acid when they made this list? Little Purple Jesus.
I don't understand the Drought 3 being at 21 either. That right there sounds like a personal list. That doesn't sound like a staff putting together a list. That sounds like one person said, you know what, man, the Drought 3 is one of my favorites.
Right. It's like, hey, well, while we're at it, can we got it for cheap volume 2 in there and 50 Cent is the future?
Right. Man with the super chat says, Mike, no Redman on this list. This
you know what that is? That's me making a top 100 albums list and being like, put that Trapper.2 on there, fam.
Right. No Redman on the list. You're right, man. No Redman. Okay.
They're ridiculous.
Dirty Sprite 2 being at 20. And y'all know how much I rant and rave about Future and his impact. That's just ridiculous. Kim Hardcore being at 19.
That's ridiculous.
It's just, again.
No, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I'm going to call it what it is.
Hold on. Where did they have the Diary by Scarface ranked? And they had Hardcore where? Ridiculous. All right.
And the fact that, tell me what Hardcore does that No Way Out doesn't do. No Way Out has bigger songs, too. The Style OG with the super chat says, in the immortal words of Rock Marciano, don't tear an oblique reaching. This list is the epitome of pandering, reaching, and excessive partakes of the exclusivity. And exclusivity for the sake of exclusivity. Excuse me. My man Kel's in the building, man. 007's in the building. Excuse me. He says, I got a choice words for Rolling Stone that the super chat is not allowing me to send. However, sat down and submitted this shoot me the fair one for the disrespect. Whoever sat down and submitted this, shoot me the fair one for disrespect. 007 wants to put hands on whoever put together this list. Look, the staff that put together this list, again, I'll put them on the Summer Jam screen. Let me go to some of the names here. Some of the names on this article are... see, it's not letting me load up again. Rolling Stone's like, yo, you guys got to stop. Charles Aaron. We got Mancapper Cote. John Dolan. We got Will Dukes. My man Will Dukes right here, the one that y'all...
Remember Will?
Yeah, we remember Will. Dwayne Gage. Joe Gross. Corey Grow. Christian Howard. Jeff Asai. Julissa Lopez. Excuse me. Mossy Reeves. Yosh Phillips. Noah Shamakman. Rob Sheffield. Simone. And Christopher Wigarnin. Yeah.
So, hold on. Here's what I just thought. Did they all submit their own top 200 lists and then it just all got mashed together and tallied up?
I don't know. Someone needs to give us some answers.
Somebody needs to give us their list. How about this? It's like all of these contributors, there are 11 of them, correct?
Yep.
I want to see their respective 200 separately.
Yeah. I think it's like...
I mean, and I say this, hold on, and I'm not joking when I say this. I say this for the credibility of the black people that are up on this screen that needs to happen.
Let's see. Let's put them back up. Yeah. How much say-so did you have, Will? You know, Will talks to, you guys when y'all reach out to him on Twitter. So maybe Will can give us some insight.
No, he didn't reach out when I smoked his ass. No, he did not.
He was just responding to people
everybody else be running when I be pulling up. You know, dudes be running when I be pulling up. It looks very shaky how these niggas be behaving.
All right. So Kim at 19. Yeezus at 17, I had a problem with. Obviously, Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy at 16. We're talking about all-time great hip-hop albums over the past 40-plus years of this genre. 2001, 13, I think that my problem with 2001 being at 13, I think for whatever reason, The Chronic is being sidestepped in its legacy to be replaced by 2001 for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it seems very blatant. Even with the Super Bowl performance, we didn't see much of the Chronic. We saw all 2001 pretty much. I'm just saying. Lord Willem being at 12, I think is ridiculous. Drake, Take Care being at 11. Listen, if you're telling me that you can't name 11 albums better than Drake's Take Care, you don't know much hip hop. I mean, let's just say it like it is. Lauren being at 10 with Miseducation because it's not a hip hop album. That's an R&B album. And I love Lauren and I love that album. I think it's one of the greatest albums ever made. It's just not one of the greatest hip hop albums ever made. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just been too much rapping that's been done on too high of a level for me to say that that's one of the 10 best hip hop albums ever made. Just to be fair. Miss E So Addicted being at 7. Obviously, I had an issue with that. I think that's just stupid. And I love Missy. And
I love Missy.
I love Missy.
I hate to do it to you.
Being at 3.
It's like, I hate to do it to you. Like my favorite auntie. Get your ass off my lawn.
Dickens says, shaking my head. What up, Mike? What up, Coop? Stop talking about this garbage magazine. They never loved hip-hop. Tired of hearing of them. The magazine
No, let's
is
talk about, you want to know what he's right. Let's talk about my list.
We'll talk about your list. Let's go to your list. And what I was going to say, too, man, I mean, are y'all down to put together a list with us? Because we're thinking about doing like a tournament bracket with all of the great hip-hop albums of all time that you guys choose, and we'll just put it up in the polling section to see who gets to the next round. That way we'll have a real list that's chosen by the people. You know what I'm saying? 007 says, tell old boy with the Yankee hat to take that off. It's a misrepresentation of the culture. He don't deserve it. I take my list back once I see the final draft and say, don't put my name on that, respectfully.
Right.
Well, yeah, right. These people's names
he's saying something strong right there. If they ask you to contribute, like, you can give the money back.
Yeah, like, I want to see the final list.
Give the money back and get your integrity back.
These people
like, hey,
don't care.
I don't want to participate in this. I still got the bag sitting right here. Take this bag. Ghostface Killer with it.
Mad Max says, LOL, seeing the faces makes me want to pick up a gun and get back on the ops. Y'all are wildin'. Michael Williams of the Super Chat says, in 2020, Rolling Stone made a list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. Illmatic was number 44, while The Blueprint was number 50. 2 years later, they say The Blueprint is the third best rap album ever, above Illmatic. Make it make sense. Sounds like somebody got their hands greased. I don't know. That sounds weird to me.
I'm going to say this again. Somebody in their team pays for a lot of what they have. And that's not to say that he's not talented. That's not to say he's not one of the greatest MC of all time. But I know too many people on the inside that have told me this motherfucker is paid for shit. All right?
The Blueprint
We're gonna
3.
stop acting like that part of the game didn't happen.
The Blueprint is at number 3. I clearly have an issue with that. I don't even want to get into it.
Stop acting like he didn't pay for anything. That's another thing we're going to do.
Stankonia at number 2. Y'all know me, man.
That's just bad.
I'm the outcast guy on this pod.
Let me tell you something. No, Mike, can I tell you something I thought about the other day? You know how bad this Stankonia pick is for us AT aliens? Is that I was actually listening to AT aliens the other day, and for the first time, I understood why people really think that it's better than Southern Playalistic.
I think this is, and I agree with you. And to piggyback on that, I think them choosing Stankonia and putting it this high and leaving off AT aliens and Southern Playalistic is a knock on Outkast's legacy. It's a misrepresentation.
It's a knock to hip-hop. It's a knock to hip-hop.
But I'm just saying.
Of their rap albums, Mike. Their first 2 albums are their rap albums.
I'm just saying. Let's think about a kid or somebody who wasn't around, right? And they hear all this stuff about Outkast and they look at an article like this and they see Stankonia is number 2 on this list. Like, oh, that's their best piece of work. And so they go play Stankonia first and might not even get to the other ones. You know what I'm saying?
I guarantee you, Mike, I can promise you this. If we did separate, if these writers did separate lists, I guarantee you the reason that Stankonia is so high is because of all those 40-year-old white people that didn't hear fucking Outkast until their freshman year of college on their 4th album, and they just got their mind blown. Meanwhile, we're like, these guys sound like they're breaking up. because those people that made this list don't know shit. If you heard Stankonia, we heard a group that was breaking up. The white people heard the greatest rap group ever, and we're looking like, no, the greatest rap group ever is breaking up. Like, what are you white people talking about? Because they're not part of this culture like that. And I'm not talking all white people. I'm just talking about the sphere of writers that exist even on the hip hop side in terms of how they look at shit. Stankonia is the fourth best album in Outkast catalog. They only got a catalog of 4 rap albums together, Mike.
I would imagine if you ask 10 people who know Outkast and know their catalog, they're all gonna tell you Stankonia is their 4th best album. There are people that even are more, I guess, diverse when it comes to Kanye's catalog. You got people who like Registration. You got people who like Graduation. You got people that like College Dropout. You got people that like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to Cass, you're either gonna say Southern Playlistics number 1,
Uno Dos Tres,
ATLians is number 1, or Kumina is number 1. Stankonia is not in that conversation.
No. That 4th album is not, because here's the thing about it: the first 3 albums are undisputed classics to us.
Yeah,
that 4th one is not.
They're actually a rap group on those albums.
Popular culture, i.e. the mainstream and white people, made Stankonia a classic. We never called Stankonia a classic.
Never. I remember buying Stankonia on Halloween. And I've been listening to Kumina like all week, and I was like, listen, I'm not going to have any expectations for this album. I know it's not going to be a Kumina, whatever. When I first listened to Stankonia, y'all, I appreciate it more now, but I was disappointed. Mm-hmm. And first off, I was disappointed for the lack of bars from Andre. He wasn't. This was the first time. People have to understand. This is the first time you buy an Outkast album, and first of all, you're skipping songs, and second of all, Andre's not rapping all the time.
No,
that was a different thing then.
No, we can gauge it actually about how the 3 previous albums begin versus how Stankonia begins. The first record on Southern Playlistic is My Intro to Let You Know.
Yeah.
The first record on ATLians is 2 Dope Boys in a Cadillac. The first record on Aquemini is Return of the Gangster. Don't tell me that Gasoline Dreams is even in the same stratosphere.
It's not. And records. I like that song.
Even the album starts off different, Mike. Even the album starts off different. It's like, that's how y'all starting off? It's like, if you're an Outkast fan, you're worried when you hear Gasoline Dreams.
I mean, Andre said it himself.
You just got done listening to Return of the Gangster and 2 Dope Boys in a Cadillac to start off the 2 previous rap albums. Gasoline Dreams.
Andre said it himself.
Hold on, they started off an album with a Goody Mob member rapping by himself on. I was like, when have they ever done that? I'm like, Cool Joe's rapping on Gasoline Dreams, like the start off of Outkast album. I'm like, it's not like a Goody Mob posse. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
You're right. No, you're right, 100%. I mean, Andre said it himself. That when they made Stankonia, they were mad at hip hop. They were just kind of just throwing things together to see what they could make. They weren't trying to make a classic. Dickens with the super chat says, Mike and Coop, thank you. You guys are the true hip hop mag on here. It's our people who determine what's the best in hip hop. Yes, and that's why we have these conversations. Unfortunately, we have to go through these lists and break it down. But if we sit there and talk about it briefly without actually analyzing it, we sound like we just mad. We want to break it down.
I am mad. They don't know what they're doing.
Los Almighty 24 says, I mean, the listening or minstrel show would have been nice. The listening's on there. Minstrel show's not.
They picked the wrong album.
They picked the wrong album because they're not listening. No pun intended. 007 says, Coop, side note, I listened to Liquid Swords and Do or Die twice back to back. In the car and the gym. Do or Die is better. And AZ's rapping like his head is on fire. I disagree
I'm going to tell you what, the
007.
mic performances
Go ahead.
are actually comparable. Beats on Liquid Swords are better, and that's why Liquid Swords is better and so high.
I might be listening to the beats.
And actually, listen to what I'm about to say, even for all the smoke I gave RZA, his best collection of beats is the Purple Tape. His best job as an executive producer is Liquid Swords. His best job as an executive producer is Liquid Swords.
You know, I feel slightly different. I mean, I don't totally disagree, but I always thought his job as an executive producer of Dirty's album had to be one of the craziest experiences ever. And
the GZA was there too and wrote most of that album, so it wasn't as crazy for him. He had the GZA there.
And
But Liquid
honestly, the
Swords,
GZA's album sounds so different than everything else. You could correlate, Ghost and Ray obviously with each other. You could correlate Old Dirty's album with Takao, but what the Genius did with Liquid Swords, that don't even sound like Wu-Tang. I mean, it sounds like Wu-Tang shit in tone, but as far as the themes, it's hard to explain.
no. Okay, so can I tell you the one RZA note that I didn't share from all those notes that I shared?
What's that?
I said Liquid Swords took a lot out of him.
I could see that.
It's beat wise. The Purple Tape is his masterpiece. Has a producer. It's Liquid Swords. As an executive producer, like putting a project together, the way Liquid Swords is put together, the beat selection, the song structure, the seamless transition, where the artists are placed. Yeah, Liquid Swords.
Brian says, Coop, your reaction to the Marshall Mathers LP placement was a little wild. When you know there are far worse rankings on this list, does Eminem have a top 200 album?
No. Hold on. There were two things that happened with that placement. First of all, by placing him with those other all-time great rap albums, you're giving him a hall pass by doing that. Next, it's like literally...
It was strategically placed.
Well, I mean, no. And listen to what I'm saying. Well, if you have Reasonable Doubt at 26, Illmatic at 24, Aquemini at 27, and The Infamous at 28, well, we can take Marshall Mathers out of that. You just don't know what the fuck you're talking about right there. How about that? How about those are 3 top 10 rap albums and another borderline top 10 rap album right there, and y'all got it hovering around the back end of 25 to 30. You don't know shit. How about that?
Let's get to your list then.
They got The Infamous at 28 and Aquemini at 27.
The Marshall Mathers LP is better than The Infamous, remember? I'm Slim Shady, that's better than, it shook, because ain't no such things as halfway crooks. Or they're right on par with each other, right? You know what I'm saying? Give up the goods and I am whatever you say I am.
What Eminem did on the Marshall Mathers LP is on par with Jay's mic performance on The Evils in 22 Twos and Nas's mic performance on Memory Lane in The World Is Yours.
Yeah.
Apparently that just happened according to this panel.
Yeah, Stan is right there on par with The World Is Yours.
Hold on. With Prodigy, Tupac, and Andre 3000's best shit kicking somewhere behind that.
I mean,
People talking about my reaction was wild. No, these niggas wild. Like the 4 niggas on the screen and the white people surrounding them and the institutional racism taking place. That's very problematic.
Listen, man, I told you, man, we have to judge the music on the music, and us giving Marshall Mathers so many passes over the years and acting like this shit was more classic than it was, this is where it gets you. LP says, they don't respect traditional hip-hop music. They only like hip-hop when the artist tries to experiment. They prefer electro sounds over JBs and funk samples. That's what it seems. I mean, because even Missy being where she is, that's all production. Ain't no bars on that.
I think that the whole comment, like the fact that, just the fact that 2001 is so high ahead of The Chronic just lets you know what they're trying to do. It's like, oh, you don't want people to remember the day the niggas took over and Lil Ghetto Boy and the social themes involved with The Chronic.
I'm gonna say
2001. No, listen what I'm saying. 2001 has no social themes and no timeless themes, but The Chronic does.
Yep.
Let Me Ride. Hold on. Listen what I'm saying. Even Let Me Ride, the timeless theme, where there's really not anything violent going on. Dre is actually talking about a day in his neighborhood where he might have to do something, but nothing happens. Let Me Ride is his version of A Good Day by Ice Cube.
This is the thing, man, and you're right. It feels like to me, and I'm watching this happen in real time, they're trying to replace The Chronic and what it means with 2001.
I will not let them do that. We will not let them do that.
No.
Lil Ghetto Boy is the best song on The Chronic. I'm not going to let them do it.
Straight up.
Lil Ghetto Boy is the best song on The Chronic.
When Dre Day comes in, listen, I was one of those people, and I think because, 2001 came out my senior year in high school, right? And that was the album. That was what everybody was riding to. It's a great
Freshman
album.
Year college.
You got Explosive. Yep. You got,
Still DRE.
Still DRE, obviously. You got, Next Episode.
X
we really
episode.
wasn't
What's the
bumping,
difference
forgot
was even
about Dre
getting played?
like
Remember
that.
what's the difference was getting played?
Yeah, you got The Watcher, like the album was banging, and the production was so clean. I was like, man, I haven't heard nothing like this like ever. But if you go back and listen to The Chronic is just a much better album. It just is what it is.
It is.
It just is.
I always tell people, if you want to hear Dr. Dre's best beats, go to Chronic 2001. You want to hear his best album, listen to The Chronic.
And see, 2001 came out in my primitive years, and where The Chronic came out kind of before my time. I mean, I heard the singles because that's all that, was getting played, but, I ain't have my hands on the disc like that. I was like, 10 years old. So, but when you go back as an adult and listen to both of those albums, like The Chronic is so ahead of the curve. I can't believe that album came out 30 years ago.
When I was outside, Mike, you know what I'm saying? Like The Chronic hits different for me. It's like I was 11. I spent that summer on Memorial Drive. It's like, it was tag team Whoop There It Is, and niggas playing The Chronic when they weren't playing Whoop There It Is. That's all I heard that summer. It was outside. I heard every record off that album from all the dope boys outside on Memorial Drive. I walked to the Blimpie. They playing D's Nuts, or the day the niggas took over.
That beat for D's Nuts is crazy.
Yeah, that was the thing. All the homies in the Chevys in the parking lot, they used to just let that thing bang and let their trunk rattle on Memorial Drive. Like I remember that shit.
The Chronic is Death Row. Like Death Row Records exists because of that album.
There's no Death Row without The Chronic. Mike, there's no
Doggy
West
Style
Coast
is part
resurgence
2
without The Chronic. Like people have to understand, the West Coast resurgence really consisted of Ice Cube selling records. Wasn't nobody else doing shit until The Chronic happened. Ice Cube was selling records.
And Ice Cube's thing was more of like, because Ice Cube went to the East Coast to do, America's Most. And obviously he's always going to rep the West. But as far as like the collective of the West Coast getting on, that's The Chronic. Where you got Dog Pound, you got Rage, you got Snoop, like them ganging up on records. Because
here's the thing.
Cube was like the quintessential soloist.
Well, here's what I think people forget. NWA originally was the whole neighborhood in Compton. It's like 25 deep. All Dre did for the Chronic was do what Easy did for the original NWA again, except for he had better resources, more money, and better talent. Right. Yeah. Like when Easy started it with the drug dealing homies in Compton. Dre's got the mixing board, the studio, the platinum plaques, the DOC, Snoop Dogg, Corrupt, Daz, Rage, RBX. Yeah. That shit different, Mike.
The Chronic's a team effort.
Shit different.
Jordan House with the super chat says it's kind of interesting that they're downplaying The Chronic the same year Snoop took the Death Row albums off streams. The Chronic was like, how Jay be taking off, like when Jay got Tidal, how he made it where like you couldn't get Reasonable Doubt on other streaming platforms. Dre did that with The Chronic first. Like I remember The Chronic wasn't on any of the streaming platforms, only 2001 was. And so when I got Apple Music, because I used to be with Spotify back in the day, Dre did that deal with Apple Music and The Chronic was only on there. Now, I don't know if it's on other ones now, but it just lets you know The Chronic was special. And that was like his Doggy Style is special to Snoop. Same thing with The Chronic. The Chronic built Death Row. The place that The Chronic has in history, Chronic's top 10. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to get to my list, and I'm going to get to your list, too. We need to get to your list. We like almost 2-something hours in. We got to get to
all I know is that, Mike, like, I still, like, this is me as a kid. Some of the verses I remember, wake up, jump up out my bed. I'm in a 2-room cell with my homie Lil Half Dead. Murder was the case that they gave me. Dear God, I wonder, can you save me?
Yo, Little Ghetto Boy to me is the X Factor.
In East Atlanta, when he said that shit, it was like looking into your future too. Like niggas, like, you know what I'm saying?
Even Dre's verse, where he's talking about, you know what I'm saying? These young
that's
niggas.
What things done changed from Ready to Die is sampled from Little Ghetto Boy.
Of course. I mean, Murder Was the Case is sampled from Little Ghetto Boy. Little Ghetto Boy is an X Factor record.
Little Ghetto Boy is one of the best rap songs ever, Mike.
Yeah. Brian says Eminem had the best mic performance on The Blueprint and 2001. It might be strategic how high they place those albums as well. He does not have the best mic performance on The Blueprint or 2001?
He did have the best mic performance on 2001. I think that verse on Forgot About Dre is the best verse on there.
What do you say to somebody you hate and anyone try to bring trouble your way?
Bring trouble your
One of
way.
all things in a bloodier
One
way.
resolve things in a bloodier way than to study a tape of NW. No, that's the best verse on there. It is.
Is it?
I'm gonna give him that, but I'm not giving him that other one though. It is the best verse.
I always thought the best verse.
How about this? Lyrically speaking, his verse on Forgot About Dre is the best verse on there, and the most touching song on there is The Watcher, which he wrote. So we're gonna give him that.
I give him that. I always thought that the best verse on 2001 was Corrupt's verse on Explosive. That's just me.
I don't love that verse like everybody else does. I think he can just do better as an MC.
And I also love Exhibit's verse on What's the Difference?
I can give you Exhibit's verse on What's the Difference. I like Exhibit's verse on What's the Difference.
Never knew about the next level until Dre did it. I play with while you motherfuckers babysit it. I slam the critics like an overhand right from Riddick.
Now hold on, but this whole best mic performance on the Blueprint thing?
That's just trolling. I see you over there, Brian. Don't do Jay like that.
Go listen to Lyrical Exercise. Okay.
I was going to say go listen to You Don't Know, but you know.
Either way.
Whatever. Let's get to your list, though.
Yeah, let's go.
I got your whole list up here. Are we going to start from, let's start from 100 down. We got Wu-Tang Forever at 100. We got The War Report at 99. East 1999 at 98. Hard to Earn at 97. If you're reading this, it's too late. You got that at 96. Uptown Saturday. Jay Short says, Coop, you forgetting about King T on 2001. Yeah, he got down on there too. He did. Life Story, 94. I like that. Mr. Scarface is back. That's a dope record. Breaking the Atoms. 91, it cut off for me. It says Word Life, Literary Devices. Yeah,
I put that for Leroy and Uncle Fram and The Truest. Like they always tell us literary devices. Go listen to OC's Word Life since y'all love literary devices so much.
Okay. Mad Villainy at 90. That's very high for Mad Villainy. I think that album deserves higher.
Can we stop for a second?
Yeah.
The best song on there is Accordion. Go look at those albums ahead of it and show me where it has some real inroads. Like, I'm tired of people saying this about Mad Villainy like it's some tour de force of a rap album when the best rap song on there doesn't measure up. Like, how about this? Like, let's go to Hell on Earth at number 70. The best 5 songs on Hell on Earth are superior to the best 5 songs on Mad Villainy. That's not Mobb Deep's best album.
God forgives, but I don't. Rick Ross. 88, we got Carter 3. You got The Lost Tapes at 87. 86, you got King from T.I. We got We Can't Be Stopped at 85. No One Could Do It Better at 84. All for One. 83, we got Niggas for Life at 82. I was thinking about Niggas for Life. Mr. Don't Play at 81. Coming Out Hard at 80. Return of the Boom Bap at 79. Murder Music. You got East 1999 at 77. You had that twice.
Yeah, that's a misprint. Hold on. There must be hold on, let me go to my list right quick and see where. Because I felt like I missed something.
The Minstrel Show is at 76. Long Live the Cane is at 75. Damn at 74. Late Registration. You got De La Soul is Dead. No Way Out at 71. Hell on Earth at 70. Alfredo at 69. People's Instinctive at 68. Hardcore at 67. Balloon Mind State at 66. Victory Lap at 65. Trap Music. Then you got 2014 Forest Hill Drive at 63. Radio at 62. Daytona at 61. Stankonia at 60. Daytona is better than Stankonia to me, but whatever. But I get you. Stankonia.
You don't know that yet.
Okay.
Stankonia's been around for over 2 decades.
It has. That's true. 59, we got the Carter 2. 400 Degrees is at 58. Illadelph Half-Life, 57. The Black Album at 56. Do or Die at 55. Wanted Dead or Alive at 54. 53, By Any Means Necessary. 52, Pray for Paris. I love that. Quicks the Name at 51. Fear of a Black Planet at 50. You got The College Dropout at 49, Riding Dirty at 48, Like Water for Chocolate 47, The Fix at 46, To Pimp a Butterfly 45, Stillmatic 44, The Score at 43, Iron Man 42, Machiavelli 41, Stakes is High 40, Things Fall Apart 39, ATLians 38, Follow the Leader 37, Selfless 36, The Blueprint at 35, Get Rich or Die Trying 34, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy 33, Good Kid, Mad City 32, 2001 31, Me Against the World 29, It Was Written 28, Moment of Truth 27.
You missed America's Most Wanted at 30.
Oh yeah, it got cut off. Sorry. Oh no,
Yeah.
it's not cut off. It's my screen's up here. Yeah, okay, my bad. America's Most at 30. All right, so we got Me Against the World at 29. It Was Written at 28. Moment of Truth 27. Muddy Waters 26. B at 25. Soul Food 24. The Diary at 23. Midnight Marauders 22. Reasonable Doubt 21. 3 Feet High and Rising 20. All Eyes on Me 19. Criminal Mind at 18. It's Dark and Hell is Hot 17. Death Certificate 16. Great Adventures of Slick Rick 15. Liquid Swords 14. Supreme Clientele 13. Ready to Die 12. Infamous 11. Low End Theory at 10. The Chronic 9. Into the 36 at 8. Life After Death at 7. Paid in Full at 6. Doggy Style at 5. Akumenai at 4. Only Built for Cuban Links at 3. Takes a Nation at 2. And Illmatic at 1. That's a strong list.
So real
what do
quick,
you guys think out there?
Hold on, I have East 1999 at 77, and I have Nocturnal by Helter Skelter at 98.
Gotcha. Okay.
Nocturnal by Helter Skelter.
Nocturnal by Helter Skelter at 98.
That's for your man. That's for your man, Sean P.
R.I.P. to Sean P. Man. Okay, I'm
Nocturnal
looking
was
at
something
this.
special, man.
Okay, off top. Why?
So I'm going to let you tell me what you see before, you know what I mean?
I mean, you know, we've done this podcast for over 2 years now, and I know that you and I have had back and forth about the Marshall Mathers LP being a classic album. You used to, you know, argue me that it was. I said it wasn't, just based on the material that's on it. Why would you leave that out of the hundreds?
So I'm going to tell you something that happened where I started realizing I was going to have to do this list differently and even more objectively for my own ears. You know where I originally had Illadelph Half-Life, Mike?
Where?
About 23. And I love that album. It's Black Thought's Coming Out Party. It's some of the best hip-hop stuff, pure unadulterated hip-hop stuff I've ever heard. And then I was like, where are the records at that people are going to remember that this makes this a viable choice as a top 25 album?
Right.
And then I started thinking about what you said about Things Fall Apart. And that's how Things Fall Apart ended up falling at 39. And Illadelph Half-Life fell at 57 because even though I think personally for me that I enjoy Illadelph Half-Life more, it's like, well, it's hard to say no to You Got Me, Adrenaline, Next Movement, 100% Dundee, Love of My Life. You know what I'm saying? Double Trouble with Mos Def. No. There's an art and a craft that comes when you're making an all-time great album. And one thing about all-time great albums, especially the ones on the high end, the material really, 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 really stays. What material on the Marshall Mathers LP really, really stays that supersedes these albums? Because I want you to keep in mind, I got Mad Villainy at number 90. You feel me? And I tried to start putting Mad Villainy in probably somewhere in the 50s, 60s. And I was like, hold on. I'm like, what on Mad Villainy for all y'all think that Doom, listen to what I'm about to say, for all y'all think that Doom was so creative and innovative and God bless. You don't have nothing on Mad Villainy that's even halfway as innovative as fucking Bombs Over Baghdad. Don't kick that shit to me. You feel me?
Oh, yeah, Bombs Over Baghdad.
And when people talk about him, they talk about how innovative he is. What he got that even fucking with Bombs Over Baghdad? I gave you one creative Outkast record. So let's not overstate and misplace things and misplace people. I tried to be as honest and as fair as possible.
Antonio says, that's how you make a list, Coop. Props. People liking the list. Let's see. Yeah, it's a dope list. Christopher Hogan says, the South never gets props or respect on these lists. This is what I was thinking, right?
There's Southern representation on this list, and it's proper. And it's proper from the right people. Scarface, Outkast, T.I., UGK. There's a 3-6 album in there from Project Pat. 8Ball and MJG got a record on here. Ghetto Boys got a record on here. UGK, like everybody got in. Goody got a record on here. Tip.
They say Wayne. EPMD is missing.
What's missing?
EPMD.
No, it's not.
The documentary.
No. Listen to what I'm saying, telling you. No, it's not. I might be missing Run DMC. That's the thing when I made this list that I realized it's like I should have put a Run DMC album on here. That's what I'm missing. I'm not missing
I think that, and I'm just gonna say this because a lot of my OGs have always told me this too. I think EPMD is just slightly ahead of our time. It's one of those things where we kind of had to be there for it. Jay Short says,
Run DMC is before them, and Run DMC's material is better than EPMD's material, in my opinion. So I don't co-sign that opinion that you just disseminated at all. I'll take Run DMC over EPMD like 10 out of 10 times.
Well, I think most people would. Jay Short says, in my lifetime, No Way Out, Train of Thought. No Way Out was on there.
No Way Out's on there.
This is what I was thinking.
I thought about Volume 1. I was real close to putting Volume 1 on there. Mike, every time I think about those singles, it's like I can't do that because what I've noticed is, and whether people want to admit it or not, first of all, I can tell people are trolling us and watching to see what we're going to do because as soon as I drop my list, about 30, 40 people dropped out the room. That's the people that are following us that work for other publications, work for other artists, and work in the media. That's neither here nor there. No. As soon as they got their list and got their information, they were out because that's what they came here for. They were just waiting for you to drop the list. Right. I just want them to know that it's like, no, I'm watching how all y'all that's watching us is moving. That lets you know that there are people in here literally just here to watch us and jock our steeds and check what we do. And we just had about 50 people drop out the room when you dropped off the list. That's because they're here clocking. They're not real fans.
Brian wants to, because Brian's an Eminem fan. You know, he always gets at us for saying the stuff we're saying. These are the songs that he names for the Marshall Mathers LP. Stan, The Way I Am, Real Slim Shady, Amityville, Kill You, Criminal, Who Knew, Remember Me. The People Have Spoken, and that album remains a top 5 most listened to album of the 2000s. Marshall Mathers LP is a classic.
Brian, when you say it's a top 5 most listened to album, well, I would agree with that sentiment because about 67% of this country is white, Brian.
Well, the thing is, man,
no.
Who's riding around listening to?
No, let's break down the dissemination of the numbers. There are 13% of this nation is black people, 67% is white. So when you have a white hip hop artist, they by in turn inherently are going to do more streams. Stop doing that shit, Brian.
007 says, make sure you post Coop's list on social media. We will do. We'll let you correct that. The health disclosure.
Yeah, I already corrected it. I'm gonna resend it to you.
Okay, cool. This is what I will say about those songs that you name. Is anybody really gonna get in the car and put on "I'ma Kill You"? I mean, imagine riding around with a nice young lady or whatever, and you put on "I'ma Kill You," Eminem's record, and we all know what the lyrics are. The woman's gonna think you're crazy. You think I won't choke no whore till the vocal cords don't work in the throat no more? Is that what we listening to?
I mean,
no, man. I'd rather listen to DMX. How's it going down?
Mike, we got artists down here that are sitting in cells right now that if some of that stuff was on their record, it'd be lock and key time.
For real talk. No, that's real.
That's real.
And one of the other things that's disturbing about that record too, like his whole little Columbine thing that he did on They Call Me I'm Back. Mm-hmm. Where he was kind of taking that Rakim 7 MCs thing and applied it to Columbine. Like, can you imagine if certain other MCs would have done something like that?
Like, what if Nas did that?
Honestly, that shit is disgusting. That's some of the most disturbing bars I ever heard. And I'm really, I'm not one of those people that's kind of like super censorship. But the shit that he gets away with and gets away with in a sense where he's never labeled anything. They never label him as a woman hater. They never label him as misogynistic. They never label him any of those things. And he has the craziest bars out there. Not to mention how he continuously would make fun of Christopher Reeves and him being, disabled. Like, you go at disabled people. Is this what we listening to? I'm cool on that shit. I don't get entertained by that shit. I'm sorry.
LP said Mecca and the Soul Brother. I might have missed that. That's my bad.
I think Main Ingredients, they're classic, in my opinion. Blue Collar Hustler says...
One of those deserve... How about this? One of those deserves to be in the top 100. Another one deserves to be in the top 200. So they should have 2 albums in there. That's my fault for missing that.
Well, this is what we're going to do. Let me get to this super chat, though. Blue Collar Hustler says, excellent list, Coop. My only critique is, personally, I think 36 Chambers belongs at number 2. But I know you put a lot of actual time, thought, and heart into this. And so this is what I'm thinking. Because I know, it's very tough. It's been such a illustrious illustrious career for hip hop in general over the past 40 something years. I think we put together a list, right? And I think we put together a bracket and we just let people vote on it on our YouTube channel and see who wins out in individual polls. And whoever wins in certain matchups goes to the next round. I think that we can use all 100 of these, but we could probably use a bunch of them that we missed too, and we'll just kind of get input from the people on what should be in those brackets, and we just get that going.
Tell me what I missed.
And we put together like a power ranking.
And I'm going to be honest with people about how I put this list together. I put this list together straight up out my own head. I wrote 78 of these albums down before I even started counting, because for me, I wanted this to be a pure hip hop test. And so I literally started writing down the greatest rap albums that I had ever heard in my life, just off the top of my head. And I got to 78 before I stopped and had to check again.
Well, the people in the chat and even in the comment section on like the rebroadcast or whatever, put what albums you think need to be on the list. What we'll do is
The Shining by Smith & Wesson. Yes.
What we'll do is with your list, when we put your list out, right, we'll ask people what's missing. And I'm sure the comment sections will blow up and they'll let us know, legitimately what's missing. And then we'll make like a bracket from there. And what we can do is, over time, over the next few months, people could just vote daily or whatever, like we do on everything else. And we end up coming together with a power ranking and actually have a real greatest top 100 hip hop albums of all time. And we could throw it in the next yearbook. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody said, are we doing female MCs no justice? It's like, well, Funkdafied and Hardcore made my list. I'm not about to sit up there and be something that I'm not. I've been the biggest proponent that I've heard of women being invited into the sphere more comfortably, but I'm not about to change the rating system to include women. It's like Light as a Rock and Black Rain by Queen Latifah is not like that. Dirty Harriet, although Mike may think that it's the best female rap album ever, it would probably fall in my 100 to 200. I'm a Funkdafied and a Hardcore guy. I'll tell you what, Eve's Rhapsody by Eve, would probably make my 100 to 200, just like Dirty Harriet. Che Noir's album that just dropped, if enough time passes, would make my top 250, but not enough time has passed.
I agree, man. I mean, I don't think anybody wants anyone to change the goalpost for them. And it's not like,
Hold on. Somebody said Into the Stage not on there. I thought I put Into the Stage
I thought that was on there.
Into the Stage is on there.
Is it? I'll let you look for that when we get to the super chat. Jay Short says, I'm curious to how people down south view 400 Degrees. It never makes these lists, but people still play it, and probably more than trap music. Creatively was a 10.
I put 400 Degrees ahead of trap music. Hello.
Yeah, 400 Degrees is highly regarded. Like you said, the replay value on those records.
I had Into the Stage on here somewhere, and I don't know what happened, but that's my fault. I did have Black Moon's Into the Stage down. I told you, it's a lot. It's hard doing this.
It's a lot. Today. When you said you had 100, I was like, damn. It's an easy place to start. You know what I mean? So
Gangstar said, are you working? What type of work do you do?
We could take that 100, and then we could get people to pretty much drop us 50 more.
No. Tell them to drop it in, because some of this will get reworked around that. Because for me, Into the Stage is a top 100 album, and I thought I had it in there. So hit us with it.
I think after we get that bracket system together, right, and then we start getting down to what number one is. First of all, it's going to be exciting. But what's going to be real dope is when we actually have a list that people chose, and not just some random people that that work for some sort of publication, I guess. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, the people are the ones that are choosing these things. I'll tell you this. There's no way in the world that these people that we talk to 2 times a week on this podcast, there's no way in the world that they're going to put that Missy dropped the 7th best hip-hop album of all time. What about the documentary?
To be honest with you, Mike, the documentary would probably be 101. It would probably be the first thing to come off the board.
Okay.
Like, truthfully, if I was making this list, and because
who does the documentary face in the first round?
How I feel about that and The Doctor's Advocate, those are going to fall in the next 100.
Who would the documentary face in the first round?
Ooh. Put it up against Get Rich or Die Trying.
I figured you would say that.
Let's go ahead.
I mean, because at the
50
end of
out
the
here
day,
real
man,
quick.
I don't know if you were watching when they did like the top 75 players thing on TNT when they did like a mock draft of it, and they had
No, I
like
didn't.
it was really dope. I'll send you the link. It's
Send it to me.
on it's on YouTube. So Jerry West had his own team. You know, Kenny, Shaq, and Barkley, they had their own team, and and Wade and his team or whatever. And so it was like 8 teams, and everybody's drafting basically off the board. Dominique had the first pick. He picked himself. But anyway, so
ATL ho.
Charles kept saying, like, there are no bad picks here. And he's right. So it's like, whatever bracket we put together, all these albums are great.
Right. It's like for the stuff that I missed. Are you understanding? Like I was looking at Master Ace's first album. I was like, that's not gonna make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because everybody's gonna get some votes on this. Like you said, right. Even if you put the documentary up against Get Rich or Die Trying.
So it's like, so here's what I'm saying. It's like, well, did I miss like the documentary? I did, but how many publications right now got Quick is the Name in their top 100 albums? How many Southern rap publications right now know Quick is the Name the way I do? You feel what I'm saying? To put it on there.
Would it be wrong to put Quick is the Name versus the documentary?
Right. How many people actually have Balloon Mind State and Hardcore right next to each other and know that it's like actually comparable because of like the realms that they explored differently because of it? You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, so this list is still like on some rap shit. How many people have We Can't Be Stopped by the Ghetto Boys? You know what I mean? Mr. Don't Play by Project Pat. This is a rap list coming out hard. Yeah. Return of the Boom Bap. Wanted, Dead or Alive by Kool G Rap. Why ain't Kool G Rap on anybody's list? Here we go with this Kool G Rap shit again.
Yeah. Yeah, right. I'm excited, man. Let's put together this bracket, man. Let's put together this bracket so we're going to see what's what because, you know, I think that...
I'll tell you where I feel bad right quick.
Go ahead.
I did put Black Rob's Life Story in, but I thought Enter the Stage was on here, and I do think Enter the Stage is better than Life Story because it's more important.
It is. Bahamadia. I like Bahamadia's album.
What, Collage?
Yeah.
That's more 200 to 250, but I like it.
So you ain't got Cardi B and Invasion of Privacy?
Unfortunately not. You know what? Dirty Sprite might make 200 to 250, objectively speaking.
Chris Hogan says...
What did it make? Dirty Sprite made what, like 18 or 19 or 20?
It was 20.
Yeah, it's like 200 slots too high.
Christopher Hogan says, can an artist like M be top 100 artist with no replay songs over artists who may be less talented lyrically, but you listen to way more? I can name 100. This is the thing, man. And you know, I don't even want to say like quote unquote less talented, right? I think that when we talk about Eminem, we get into some lyrical miracle, you know, swimming pool shit. And so at the end of the day, DMX, right? When he dropped this Dark and Hell is Hot, and Eminem was around, what, a year later?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care how well Eminem was putting together words. DMX didn't have to do all those things. Mm-hmm. He made great songs. He made you feel. He had perspective. And if you ask me in 1999, if you ask me today, it's no question to me, DMX is the better MC between the two. But if you would have asked me that shit in 1999, I would have laughed you out the room. Like, what are we talking about? He's not even in he's not even in his class. And
okay,
this is peak Eminem stuff.
People talk about numbers. So listen to what I'm saying in this sphere. And then we understand that M-Du's numbers. You understand DMX had a year where he outsold Nas and Jay if you put Nas and Jay's record sales together, and that's both when they were in their selling prime and their like MCing kind of prime. And like he totally outsold them and was rapping with them. Eminem was not part of that conversation. It was not
hip-hop
in the hip-hop conversation, when we were having these conversations, it's like you see how this nigga X just took the game from Hove and Nas, right? And that was the conversation.
And look, he didn't have to have TRL shut down for him to do so. He didn't have to go you know what's so funny to me, man? It's so fun. I was just listening to Game's interview with Complex or whatever, and he was talking about the whole white privilege thing with Eminem, and they asked him about Jack Harlow and all of that. And when we posted on the Court in the Hip Hop, everybody's talking about, oh, games clout chasing, whatever. Eminem made his whole fucking career off of clout chasing. So we're not gonna say that when he was going at Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, Fred Durst, Carson Daly. These are the name drops he's doing. Will Smith, when we're coming off of Big Willie style, Will Smith's the biggest artist in the world, or in hip hop at least. Will Smith don't got a cuss in his rap to sell records. I do. Fuck him. Fuck you too. That's not clout chasing?
Hey, I tell you what, and I just thought about this. Like, Get At Me Dog by DMX is so rare. Because not only is it a culture shifting song, but it is actually one of the best rap songs ever, and a culture shifting song at the same time.
And you have to understand what things looked like.
Right. How many records? No, listen to that. That's one of the 20 best rap singles ever.
Straight
because
up.
of the importance and the actual quality of the record. Because the quality of the record is not a question. But when I mean he took this game and threw everybody back in the mud.
Fuck is on your mind.
He's like, oh, y'all doing that happy shit? That shit's over, nigga. That shit's over. He's like, we're back at the tunnel. We got hoodies. We got Timbs.
Does anybody really want to listen to how wild that sounds, man? Does anybody really want to compare that to, hi, my name is?
Right. It's not a conversation.
Come on, man. What are we talking about? Fuck is on your mind? Talking that shit that you be talking.
From the waist down. What the fuck is on your mind? Talking that shit that you be talking.
And I bet you wish you never got hit because you be walking. Shit happened. But fuck it. You done did your dirt.
Did your dirt. Niggas was wondering how the fuck you
hit your skirt right under your eyes.
Because a surprise to the guys. Because one of they men was a bitch in the sky.
What?
That's on a single, nigga.
That's on a single.
Niggas aren't allowed to rap like that on record. Niggas wasn't allowed to rap like that on record in 97 or 98, let alone a single. Stop
robbing to eat. Mobbing the street. Starving, we eat whatever's there. You know the code of the street.
Code of the streets, whatever's fair. Bloodstains and chalk.
Yo, man. Mad Max with the super chat says, Doc 2 is better than the documentary. To me, better songs on 2.5 better too. The thing about 2.5, yes. And I love 2.5, it's just so much help. So much.
The help, the help helps. Anderson .Paak helps. Nas helps. Wayne helps. DJ Quick helps. Schoolboy Q and J-Rock on Gang Bang anyway. It's a lot of help.
Man, and
Schoolboy Q talking about palms itching, guess it's time for the murder. I'm like, that's how we starting off the record? All right. Speaking of which, hold on, we ain't talked about Q, Blank Face and Oxymoron. I was trying to find a way to slide Blank Face in the top 100. Y'all talking about the documentary. I actually think Blank Face is better than the documentary because Q had less help.
Christopher Hogan says Paul Wall is more hip-hop than Eminem, respectfully. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I give him that.
Yeah. But again, it doesn't even matter how lyrically, complex or whatever you do. It's something different when it comes from the soul. You know what I'm saying? And yes, it's not wrong for you to say, you know what, this person might not be as quote unquote skilled as Eminem, but I like their music more. Like, let's look at Juvenile. You know what I mean? Like, I'd much rather listen to Juvenile's music. I'd rather listen to Project Pat's music and all that.
Look. To Anthony Lassiter, Cool G Rap, DJ Polo, Road to Riches. No. Road to Riches gonna be in 100 to 125. I ain't forgot about It's a Demo and Truly Yours, fam. Wanted Dead or Alive was the better album from beginning to end, even though Truly Yours and It's a Demo were his seminal records. But no. He gonna make that too. That's what I'm saying. Mike, Road to Riches, Cool G Rap.
Yeah.
G Rap's out rapping everybody that year except for Rakim. Twice. Like, that happened to him twice. You know, G-Rap is like the second best MC in the game, like 2 years. Like, his best two projects, Rakim showed up both of those years, like around the same time, pretty much. And that's part of the reason why people don't talk about G-Rap either, is because Rakim lyrically is right there with him. But he's more, like, knowledgeable, and it was cool to be more knowledgeable than street back then. Right.
I think, man, the thing with Rakim, man, I was listening to Paid in Full probably this morning or yesterday morning. He's just so great, man. Rakim's another level. And it's amazing to me to listen to somebody rapping like that, knowing that they were rapping like this 35 years ago. Or longer than that now. Yeah, it was. Yeah, 87. Yeah, 35 years ago. And shit, Eric B. is president 36 years ago. It's like, you're rapping like that 36 years ago?
Here's how influential Rakim is. Okay, so people have to understand this. If I'm not mistaken, Paid in Full is what made the Bomb Squad and Chuck go in and do It Takes a Nations when they heard.
Definitely.
Okay, so check this out. Here's how you know they're listening to each other. Here's how you know Chuck and Ra are listening to each other. You know where the sample from Lyrics of Fury, I'll Follow the Leader, comes from, right?
Yeah, that's the Funky Drummer, right?
That's the Funky Drummer by James Brown.
Mm-hmm.
The very following year, how does Fight the Power start off?
Yeah.
Get down. Sound of the Funky Drummer. Because I know you got soul.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Jay Shore with the super chat says,
I'd like to thank everybody for coming into this real hip hop shit where Chuck D and Rakim are sparring with each other behind the scenes in live sight. You feel me?
Right. Jay Shore says DMX was so hot. He was on singles with Jada and Method Man before he dropped an album. Man, he was the centerpiece.
I told people about that 4-3.
I think the first time I heard him was 4-3.
When Cannabis was the man, people have to understand the year X came out was when Cannabis had his buzz.
Yeah. Cannabis
and
buzz
I kept telling people, my man Hub was telling me, he's like, this nigga X ain't lyrical like that, Coop. I'm like, no. I'm like, he's got a feel. I was like, I've heard guys rap like Cannabis. Ras Kass came to mind immediately. I'm like, that guy X. And I remember my man clowning me about that, you knew it was wrong, ski mask for it, baby. Like all that. He's like, what is he doing? I'm like, no. I'm like, that shit's about the work. And sure enough, it did. 1, 2, 1, 2, come through, gun through. Oh, you don't know what the gun do? Like when he started off his album like that, and niggas is like, ooh.
Think it's a game? Think we playing? Yo, I think that his verse on Money, Power, and Respect is what got my attention.
Moms at home's praying?
The first time I heard him was 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, first time I heard him was 4, 3, 2, 1, but Method Man, Redman, and Cannabis and all, and the whole LL thing was going on. So it's like, he was just another verse on there, and he was the most, actually, at the time, non-notable person on the record. But Money, Power, and Respect, he took that song.
How about this? And this is what I mean about he represents the have-nots. If you know me around that time, Mike, that was me at my pickiest and most like lyrical picky. Mm-hmm. And so when I like DMX, people around me didn't understand. But it's like, no, he was talking to the side of me that was poor, that didn't have anything, that was living in enough rough neighborhood, that didn't know how our lights were going to stay on, that didn't know if I cooked dinner after I got done feeding my brothers and sisters, if there was going to be enough for me to eat. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so he didn't speak to the rap side of me. He spoke to the side of me.
The human side of you.
Fucking survive. Yeah. You feel me? And he did that for a lot of people. And so there are a lot of us that's like Nas and Rakim and like all that super lyrical. But when it comes to that nigga, no. I swear by that guy the way I swear by them. That nigga got me through something.
Well, on that note, man, rest in peace to DMX, man. Game 3 is about to start in a minute. Any predictions before we get out of here?
No. I just need to jump up on a couple sites, place a couple orders right quick. Mike, it's time to go. It's time to go. Didn't know it was game time.
Eric Sermon says, how y'all doing? My question is, why nobody talking about Pharoah Monch's debut album, Internal Affairs? That album is a masterpiece. Peace from Ghana. Appreciate you, Ghana.
It's not a masterpiece, but it's masterful at moments, and definitely needs to be one of those albums that makes the 100 to 200. But Internal Affairs is not a top 100 rap album.
We'll put it in the bracket though, definitely. Yeah. All right, well, let's get.
We got one more chat. We got
another one. 007's back in the building. I had a delay there. He says, "Do you weigh originality as a rapper?" as a rapper and 4 albums. Would you consider that as another rating metric? Drake having a ghostwriter help and Jay-Z riding waves from Big Daddy Kane, Big Daddy Kane, Big, etc. Can't score high. I guess that whole originality thing might need to be part of the rating system. He's talking about the rating system when it comes to MCing for the people out there. We're doing a MC scale, and we need to jump back on that too. I think that there does need to be some sort of a metric where people who have ghostwriters are going to score less, but I think that was the songwriter thing, right? I think that's where we were going with songwriter category. Because if you had a ghostwriter or you were possibly riding waves or whatever, you would score lower on that. I don't know. I get it. Because
No, I
again,
get it.
I tell you guys all the time, man, I listen to Blueprint 3 now with different ears. I feel like Jay was trying to find a style on that album. And when you take away the songs and how good some of the songs are, and you just listen to him and listen to him rapping, it's like you don't really know who you are on this album. And that's why I feel like it took him that long to make it. It never took him that long to make an album. That was the longest album creating process he ever had. And when he was
Really?
interviewing about it, huh?
No, go ahead. I'm
I
listening.
was going to say, when he was interviewing about it, he was saying that he took his time. And he was saying that Leo Cohen was telling him, like, can you imagine what you would have made, like, when you were on that run if you weren't so rushed to make albums? He spun it like he was taking his time on the Blueprint 3. But no, I think when I listened to the Blueprint 3, he just had figured out a style he was going to go with for that album. That's how, when he was on his run, he was on a roll. We were just talking about that. Like, ain't really no shortcomings. The shortcomings that come from his time where he was, on that roll was him trying too hard sometimes and forcing records that didn't need to be forced,
Yes, I've seen a lot of people bring up Capital Punishment by Big Pun, so I'm going to go back and listen again. Okay. Off the top of my head, Super Lyrical with Black Thought, Dream Shatterer, of course, Deep Cover 98 with Fat Joe, You Came Up, the triple Sace with Prodigy and Deck. No. There's legendary stuff on there. I'm not sure if it's top 100 though. I actually, when The Source gave Capital Punishment 4 mics, I thought that was one of the best album reviews they had done around that time because they had missed so much shit, and I thought that was a very appropriate 4 mic album.
I need to go back and read that rating. It's funny when you go back and read some of those Source ratings from back in the day. They really weren't very intricate articles.
No, they weren't as they weren't as well written as we thought they were.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't but you want to know what? They got you to buy in. We were so addicted to the culture, and we were so addicted to the rating system that they were providing the community and the culture with something. We let it pass. Like the Illmatic reviews, not all that.
It's not. And shout out to Miss Info who wrote it. She got the perfect rating for it. But as far as just delving into everything that album's about. Yeah. They didn't do that. I mean, there was a lot of, when you listen to Illmatic and everything that kind of, and obviously it's revisionist history and Monday morning quarterback in here, but thinking about Illmatic and you read that article, there's a lot in that article that's missing. You know what I'm saying?
So here's what I'll tell you, and this is what I mean about the media narrative and with Nas. You see, Nas didn't have a bad boy. He didn't have a Puff. And so you have to understand that because of the things that these guys did, 93, 94, 95, when 96 is rolling around, the money is different.
Yeah.
Mike, that Vibe magazine review is detailed and long in 1996. They are literally breaking down bars on Take It in Blood on that Vibe magazine review. There's no bar breakdown on Illmatic. It's like, she's like, this is one of the greatest rap albums I've ever heard. And when you hear it, it's going to be one of the greatest rap albums you've ever heard too. Have a great day, nigga.
Right.
It was Ritten's review from Vibe magazine. And it's like, well, first of all, I want to let you know that Illmatic is a classic, but it's not the greatest adventures of Slick Rick. It's not Paid in Full. It's not Criminal Minded or by any means necessary. I remember this word, Take It in Blood. The beat lulls you to sleep while Nas's verbiage pistol whips you. I said his verbiage pistol whips you. I said, what the fuck are they talking about? I said, are they talking about the song where he's the gun, or are they trying to write a music review right now?
This is the type of stuff they do. It's wild, man. Like, to hear it out loud.
They were doing this in 96.
Crazy. It's crazy.
They're literally telling you the album is trash, but they're like, his verbiage pistol whips you. It's like, well, you're telling me that he sounds great,
right?
But it's not great.
But you won't say that outright. Yeah.
My 15-year-old mind was like, this is some bullshit. Pretty certain. Pretty certain it's some bullshit what they saying. And why would you start off a rap review? Listen, this is 1996. Why would you start off a rap review talking about Paid in Full The Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick.
That's when
and
you know the
Criminal
bullshit's
Mindy.
coming.
When this nigga just made Illmatic, don't tell me that that's not agenda lace.
Yeah, that's
Go
bad.
read the fucking review.
Yeah. I mean, they did the same thing to Black Star. They didn't deserve what the source did to them.
Oh, the whole I Miss Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, like, why are y'all doing that?
Oh my God. Yeah,
Rate
no.
album. Don't do
they
that.
shorted Black Star a whole mic. I'll give you that.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done it
Black
like
Star
that.
mic. Should have got 4.5. Yeah.
You think Black Star should have got 4.5? I mean, 4.
For how history is gone, yes. For me, it was always a 4 mic album.
Yeah,
How about this? So for me, Black Star's album and Capital Punishment, those are quintessential 4s in my book.
Yeah, but history's been very kind to both of them.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. We will see y'all Friday. This was very enjoyable. Do you understand that they
said this shit is not paid in full or criminal minded? I was like, those niggas never made paid in full and criminal minded again. What are we doing?
Right. All right, peace out, y'all.
All right.